Welcome, everybody, to an all-new episode of GVN Sports. There is so much wild football to talk about. We're still waiting on Aaron Judge's lazy ass to hit this fucking home run. We have NBA Media Day. We're going to break down, a few divisions in the NBA as we gear up for basketball returning. And by the way, Prime, I'm going to say this to you because I believe you're probably the biggest WNBA fan here. But somebody needs to tell the WNBA organization as a whole that when your women fight that hard to win a championship, they should not get a trophy that's very common to what a 5-year-old gets for participation. You know what I'm saying? Right. Playing at the YMCA. When she was holding the trophy, I thought that was a microphone. I said, "Oh, that's a fucking trophy?" I said, "Oh, hell no!" I had blood, sweat, and tears. And you give me this little small ass thing? Nah, they need to fix that shit. NBA got 4 more trophies, and WNBA can't get actual trophies. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Goodness gracious! Either pay them or give them better trophies. One of the two.
I mean, do both.
One of the two. Well, do both. Yes, do both. Do both. Sure. I just had to get that out. I'm sorry. When I saw them celebrating, I said, "Oh, bless y'all heart." Bless y'all heart. Oh man, goodness gracious. But anyway, we got so much to get into. Let me introduce our panel before we jump into. We're gonna start with football. We're gonna jump into football and then end with basketball. Starting off first, Didge. What's up, Didge?
Oh, not much, finally back home after a long weekend trip. It's nice to be home.
Always nice to be home, man. How was the trip?
It was a lot of fun. My cousin got married, so that was fun. The whole family was out there. And I'd never been to Denver, so that was great.
Ooh, was it true about the high altitude or whatever the hell?
And I'm not really, you could tell when you first got there. But after that, no, it didn't seem like anything.
All right, because when I went to Florida for the first time, I didn't even have to step off the plane before I was just like, it's hotter than a son bitch up in this mud. I couldn't breathe.
That was me in Louisiana.
When I tell you, I left New Jersey.
I got off the plane. Oh,
I left New Jersey in sweats. I entered Florida dying. I mean, pure. I was a damp rag when we landed. I said, "Oh, I gotta shower 3 times, right, back to back to back. God damn." But next up, Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up? I'm ready to do it because I have a lot of shit to get off my chest.
And I can't wait. And last but definitely not least, sporting the all-time great Clyde, the freshest dresser, one of the greatest point guards, and one of the greatest voices behind the mic. I wasn't even talking about Clyde for those last few. What up, Prime?
Man, I'm ready to shake and dish, swish and dish. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to do it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Feeling good, man. We're right in the middle of my favorite time of the year, the fall, when just so much is going on. We get basketball, we got football, baseball still going on. People throwing up holiday lights already. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I live, in the area called Museum District, right? And I was sitting there tripping. I was telling everybody, I said, in Museum District is crazy because you can always bet they're going to have their Halloween decorations up in mid-September and have Christmas decorations up the 1st of November. So, and we got lights like crazy out here already. But it's my favorite time of year.
Hey, I like to see how creative people can get. You know what I'm saying? That's the fun part. How creative can you get, right? With the lights, with all the decorations and whatnot. I do love it. And Joel, I thought about it. I might do one of those haunted hay rides or some shit this year. I'm thinking about it. I just went and registered to be able to carry a firearm legally. So I think I'm ready. I'm ready for this haunted hay ride. I'm ready.
You can't get in there.
Hey, real quick, I was telling you, I had somebody trip the other day. I said, around my way, so there's a house about 2 blocks up, right? and they have this huge. They put it up last year to this huge skeleton, and it's like on the corner of the side of the house. I mean, it's big. I guarantee you, it's probably every bit of 12 feet tall at least. Like it's huge, and it's on the side.
I saw that at Home Depot.
Right, dude. Let me tell you something. So I was laughing at last year, and I bet you I do it this year. Instead of them taking out the Halloween decorations, so when Halloween was over, they just went out. Somebody took a ladder out there and threw a Santa Claus hat on top of the skeleton, and so it stayed on top of that till like the end of January. It was crazy.
Yeah, I can't get down with that. I told Joel I can't, man. I can't. I'm sorry.
You should, man. It's fun as hell, man.
I'm sorry. If I can't bring the blicky, I ain't going.
You don't even know how to do blicky. So
I don't, but I'll find out that night, Joel.
Are you the only one in there with a gun for no reason?
Ain't nobody scaring me, and I know y'all motherfuckers gonna try to record it. I gotta try to hold on to some dignity, Joel.
Be a little bitch, then. Just come walk in there with me.
I'm almost 30 and I'm 5'5", Joel. You gotta let me have some kind of, you know what I'm saying? Let me get a win somewhere in life, all right? Goddamn.
Walking through like a man.
All right, so we're gonna start off football with what I thought was the biggest game of the weekend, or mainly the most shocking game of the weekend. And I wanted to start this one off properly, so I had this for Didge. Didge, this is just for you, brother.
I know it's going to be some bullshit.
Is it coming,
though? It's too low. It's too low. I can hear it, but I can barely hear it, which probably actually works.
We up. The Baker boys are here. We got a dub on the board. Carolina stand up. Okay. All right. Baker is in the building. Okay. We catching dubs out here. That's one. Right? To the road for 10, baby. For the road for 10. I want to give a shout out to Baker Mayfield. Christian McCaffrey, you were there. You know, you did something. You know, whatever. You contributed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Baker is what I want to focus on. God bless you, Baker. I believed in you when no one else did. I believed in you. God believed in you. Okay? And all of Carolina is behind you, Baker. We love you. And that's one for the road for 10. All right? Now, Prime, I want you to back me up and support the road for 10 that Baker just got, just embarked us down the road of, okay? How impressed were you by that transcendent game by Baker Mayfield this past Sunday?
He was all right. He was good.
I like that.
He played very well. I can't back him for 10. I did have the improvement. I was with you on the improvement. I said that. But I can't back you for 10. But
I'll change your mind. Don't worry. We'll get right to 8.
Baker actually played very well. And, of course, a lot of people are not talking about it because it's Baker. You see what I'm saying? There'd have been a few other people, they'd hyped it up a little bit or give it a little more talk. But, yeah, he did real well. And I know that people will go on and say that the Saints have been struggling a little bit, but that's been offensively between injuries and then people find their groove. But defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So for him to go out and get the dub, what they put up, 22, I think it was. 22 against it was 22-14. Yeah, 22. Yeah, I was impressed. Yeah. So shout out to Baker, man.
Yeah, so Prime, I love that. I loved everything you said because Shannon Sharp and Didge are trying to put out this anti-Baker propaganda. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really not digging it because all I'm saying is that y'all will not want to podcast or listen to me and Skip if Baker gets the 9 wins. If Baker gets the 9 wins, I'm telling y'all right now, go ahead and hang it up. Hang it up. It's a wrap out here. Didge, I might go to you last. I don't know. Maybe not at all. Joel, how impressed were you by the second coming of Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, and his performance this past Sunday?
Shit, I would have took that performance over what Brady gave me, actually. It was fine, I guess. I didn't really. It is impressive to beat the Saints, but We beat them last week, and it was one of those games where I'm like, there's a good team there. Mm-hmm. Like I played, they weren't terrible. They just weren't very good either. But I just didn't. It's just one of those things where like they have a decent team, they have a decent squad there. They really do. It's just not. I don't know about 10, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I like what Prime and Joel keep saying as I pass it to Didge. I love how they're not emphatically saying, ain't no way in hell he can get 10. Instead, they're saying, I don't know about 10. I'll wait and see, and if he gets nowhere near it, I'll shit on him. But if he gets close, I'll remind everybody I said I don't know. I didn't say he couldn't. I like how y'all are playing it safe. I like it. I see y'all. Y'all want to join the Baker Boys. It's all right. Y'all will. Y'all will. We got the chef hat ready for the Baker Boys. Don't y'all worry. We out here. Didge, go ahead in 5 seconds. Wrap up your thoughts on Baker.
So let me be the one. If everybody else wants to emphatically say, "Ain't no way in hell they getting 10." No way.
All right.
What are we talking about?
Fresh off the plane.
I don't get it. I've been listening to people for like 3 days talk about, oh, he did decent. He went 12 for 25 for 170 yards. In what world is that decent?
Yep.
That's not decent.
But he threw a touchdown pass and he ran one.
Yep.
Right? Did he run one in?
Sure did.
No, he didn't run for one. He threw a touchdown pass. That's it. No, he just threw a touchdown pass. And it was hold on. It was a 1 yard pass. It was a 1 yard pass that the receiver put all the work in. It was a 1 yard pass that the receiver just broke loose.
Yeah, did he lose the game?
He didn't do well.
I'm just in the middle, but he didn't lose the game. I gotta give him something.
I'm just saying. He won. He caught this. You know what I'm saying? He was catching flights with dubs. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you was hard on him about losing games. He caught a dub, and you still saying that ain't enough. What you want him to do, Didge? What you want him to do? Because here's the thing, Didge. If he come out next week and go for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, you still will say ain't no way in hell he win in 10 games. So what do you truly want from Baker Mayfield?
That's not true.
Really?
That's not true. He should play better.
I'm going to make a phone call. He throw for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns next week. You better give him that respect. I want your name to say Baker Boys. Oh, that don't matter.
Under 50%, and we saying he played decent. Oh,
yeah, that's decent. He caught a dub.
No, it's not.
He caught a dub. Yeah, first of all, what we not gonna do? You is not gonna tell me that Baker Mayfield play average. You think Tom Brady played average?
Pretty average.
No, he didn't play great either.
Okay, all right, just making sure we staying on the, you know what I'm saying, the same path, because those two are one and the same, destined for greatness. But all right, let's move on to our next game.
I will leave this show.
I'm just saying, Tom Baker, Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying, Baker Mayfield, same thing. It's the same thing to me. All right, let's get to the real shocker of this week. And that is the Bills versus the Dolphins.
Ain't no shocker.
That to me is a shocker, mainly because the Bills looked like they did not belong a majority of that game, right? They looked as if Miami was giving them defensive signals of like the early 2000 Ravens. Like they were having fucking fits all throughout that game. And then to end that game, first of all, Didge, I want to start with you. I want to ask you this, okay? Because I don't like to talk out of my head because, I never played football. I played flag football, and that was it. I said I'm out, right? But when there's only 10 seconds left, and you get the ball, I know you're trying to get extra yards or try to get to the field goal line. But there's nothing in your head hey, we don't have any timeouts. Maybe get out of bounds. Maybe run right out of bounds.
It looked like he was at least trying to get out of bounds. I don't
know, because it looked like he ran to the side and then tried to cut back, because he was only like a less than a yard away from getting over the field goal line. It just wasn't enough time, and it seemed like he pulled the J.R. Smith. He had no fucking idea what was going on, and when he landed, he just like, all right, we good, right? bruh, no. Like, there's 8 seconds left.
Still that whole game was weird, to be honest. Because I think, Josh Allen still threw for 400.
Mm-hmm.
I know they out yardage them. I think they had almost 500. They had possession, I want to say, for like 40 minutes of the game, and they still lost. So, like, I can't say that they didn't look like they didn't belong. For all intents and purposes, they looked like they were going crazy, but they couldn't score.
But that's why I'm saying that's what's the biggest question mark, because you look at, I see what the Ravens were able to do, right? And I see Josh Allen in that offense just being better than Lamar Jackson in his offense, right? And for you to struggle like that, that's what I mean by it looked like they didn't belong, because Miami's defense was pitching essentially for a team as big as the Bills, a shutout, right? And mind you, Miami won that game with Tyreek being kept completely in check. I think the man had like two receptions in the game.
Tua ended with 186 yards.
And they won. That tells you that Miami defense is either really top notch, or the Bills just, and again, I'm not saying this like I think there's something wrong with the Bills. We need to pull the panic lever. I'm saying it more so as these are divisional games that you expect to be like this. I'm just saying I thought the Bills would find a way to win, because on paper, they are just the better team. And it seemed like Miami saw that, made it bulletin board material, and made sure they showed up and showed out. And that defense showed up.
If you look at every stat and just didn't look at what the final score was, and you say who won this game,
right?
There's no way you say Miami won it.
Yep.
I'm truly confused by this game. I watched the whole game, and I was still like, I don't get this.
Yep. Yeah. You know what it reminds you of, Didge? Well, I don't want to speak for you, but you know what it reminds me of? We were saying this a week ago when the Chargers had a shit ton more time of possession and still managed to fucking lose that game. And it's like, bruh, how? Like,
I'm off the Chargers now. They disappointed me heavily.
Oh, Lord, goodness gracious. We're going to skip you on that one. It's okay. We're going to skip you on that one. But let me ask you, Didge, before I move pass it on. Do you look at this as a game the Bills lost or a game Miami won?
That the Bills lost. There's no way you do all of this and lose a game. Because the defense, that means they just bended that much and just didn't break, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like, it seemed like the stress had to be really on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, as I pass it to you, Prime, you said it when we were talking cornerbacks. Howard is that dude, right? Howard is one of those dudes, right? And for Tyreek Hill to have essentially a vacant game, that means either Jones or Howard was doing their thing, or they just boxed them, right? They just say it again, Prime.
They both did.
Right. So for me, I'm sorry. I think I said Hill. I meant Diggs. Diggs. I'm sorry. So for me, it was very impressive to see that they not necessarily held Diggs, but didn't allow Diggs to be the reason they lost. And I thought that would have been the huge game changer, is that, Josh Allen keeping plays alive on his feet, finding Diggs, on those deep routes. And they essentially just kept the Bills in check. I don't think many teams will do that to the Bills going forward. But if anything, this gave them a roadmap for what to do playing them going forward. Because remember, Didge, I know you remember this. They were saying when the Buccaneers played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that the Buccaneers were looking at how Bill used to play the Chiefs, how he was able to box in Tyreek Hill, how he was able to get physical with Travis Kelce. And when you watch that Super Bowl, you're looking at a defense who is just way more physical than that offense. But that's because they had seen that's what you needed to do to kind of keep them in check. So if you saw that Miami Bills game, what they were doing, Prime, that I'm like, it's not easy to do playing Josh Allen. But they gave a QB spy, right? Somebody this is for the audience. I know y'all know this, but for the audience, somebody that just followed Josh Allen, right? You saw where Josh Allen, once he hiked it, and you just followed him. And they were essentially keeping him to a degree in check with his legs. So I think Miami just did a phenomenal job. But Prime, how did you look at that game?
So I saw the game as well. I was went out. I was at a sports bar and I had like TV in front of me was one of those huge, crazy looking jumbotrons. It had like 5 games on it, and 4 of the screens are the same, but there's one huge one, and that's the game that was on. So I was right in front of it, and I saw it all. And what I saw was, Didge mentioned a lot of the stats, right? And I saw an alarming stat was the fact that Buffalo had, what time was this? Was like 40 minutes.
40 to 19.
But what I saw from the Dolphins, they didn't try to make every play a big play. Yep. You see what I'm saying? What they tried to do was make, they picked their spots. Okay, we know we may give up, because if you look at the disguise, as you mentioned, they did have a spy there, but they would change coverages a lot. So they might be first down. It might be something. They didn't come out, whenever Buffalo didn't go to hurry up, they didn't come out in the same exact look. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They mix it up. So we're going to make a play when we need to make a play or at certain spots. We're not going to try to overextend ourselves. And that's really what I saw. And it seemed to me was they were looking at like, okay, we're going to let you do your thing against Diggs. We're going to let these other guys eat a little bit. We know you like to pass it out of the backfield, the Singletary, and all. And those guys are going to make plays. And I think some of those guys made some really good plays. But we're just not going to let them in the end zone.
Right.
I just think the game plan was good. I think we might be at a point where we need to give Mike McDaniel a little more credit. Now I was joking about the way he looks. Doesn't look anything like a football coach. He looks like he just hangs out at, a Gap or somewhere, for a time to come to work, and he gets in the car and just comes in with a clipboard. But I think his influence is carried over a little more in this game than just the offensive end, because he didn't ask the offense to do that much. You think about it. What did they rush the ball a total of what? Did he rush even 20 times, I don't think? And that, it was crazy. He put it all on his defense. Yeah, he put it all on his defense. He bet on his defense. The limited time that we had, on offense, we're just not going to make mistakes. We're going to take some shots. And they took some shots. They took a couple of shots. But I just think the fact defensively, from what I saw, that they didn't try to make every play like the big play.
Right.
We're just going to stay within it. We know we're going to give up. They came in with the mindset, no, we're going to give up some yards. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to give up some stuff, 9 yards. We're just not going to let it get to this point. And I just think it was great, man. And when you can play pretty much, turnover-free football for the most part, it'll allow you to do that. You know? And I'll be honest with you, and they probably would never admit this, but I really think probably in the coaching staff's mind, even Mike McDonald, he was thinking, I know we put on a hell of a performance last week. There's a good chance we're not really going to do that. We know we got weapons. We know that 90% of the league don't want to see any parts of Tyreek and Waddle. Right. This team's a little different. So I'm not expecting to go in there and blow the doors up. We might get a play or two, but let's just stay within ourselves. But yeah, shout out to the defense, man. You always see teams trying to make every play has to be this. Every play has to be that. I don't think they played that way. And I think that ultimately led to them winning this football game, as fun as it sounds.
But that's why I think Miami has to be taken more seriously, because I think what they're starting to do is showcase, hey, we will just take games, and this is going to sound very obvious, but stick with me. We're going to take games a week at a time. And what I mean by that is, hey, we're playing the Bills. This is a team that if you get too far behind, it's almost impossible to catch up, right? So let's kind of manage the game to where we're not trying to take these big swings that could have horrible results, right? Let's just take what they're giving us. Just only take what they're giving you. They were saying to their defense, bend but don't break, which they did. And we can walk out of here with a win. And that's essentially how they played football. And that's what let me not say that's what I want, because fuck Miami. But not being a Patriots fan, I can objectively look at Miami and say if they want a path to success, that's what they need to have every week, instead of saying, hey, we're paying Tyreek Hill all this money. We got to make sure he has 300 yards today. No, take what the defense is giving you. Don't try to have those big shots that Patrick Mahomes can get away with, because Patrick Mahomes, as Didge let us know last week, don't need much time, and that man can lead a comeback, right?
Hey, look, man, let's not sell those safeties short either. I thought their safeties played really well too.
100%.
We talk about the corners. Look, I'm gonna tell you, I'll put those two corners against most in the entire National Football League. Those guys are legit, but the safeties, man, those safeties played really well. They didn't let the Bills get behind them. And then there was a couple of plays there I sat in there watching. They stopped them just short of the first down marker, and then left Buffalo to having to make decisions. I think that whole secondary played like really, really well in this game.
Also, as I pass it to Joel, let's give credit to Buffalo's secondary. No, what's his name? Their star corner, Tre'Davious White.
Wasn't it like their top 3?
Yeah, they lost Poyer and they lost the other one. Fuck, I can't remember the other one's name.
Oh, they lost Poyer, White, and then did Micah
Hyde. Micah Hyde. Yep.
Micah Hyde. Think about it. So they started this game with 1 rookie and 3 6th-round picks in the secondary.
Now think about that. They started with that prime, and Tyreek Hill still had 2 receptions.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to give them a lot of credit, and I have to give somebody else a lot of credit, Von Miller. Because if Tyreek Hill was having that low of a production day, that means 9 times out of 10, Tua was not safe in that pocket. So a lot of those plays probably broke down a lot quicker than he wanted them to, and he couldn't get the ball out fast enough. So shout out to both of those defenses. They definitely showed up and showed out. Those are games that I would like to see more in the NFL. I really am not a huge fan of these 45-38 kind of, like, I like those, you got to get in the trenches kind of games. I like those. And usually you get those out of divisional opponents. So it was good to see that. But Joel, how do you look at this, man? Do you look at this as more so, rough week for the Bills, or just maybe the Dolphins have to just be looked at more seriously?
Also, yes.
And anything else you ask, yes. But how did you look at this game?
I think it was one of those bad weeks for the Bills, but also I think people, you do need to take them more seriously, because I don't know why at this point. The first 2 weeks have been pretty eye-opening for me, but even fantasy wise, because I at least have one of them. They were locking them down for most of that first half at least. And I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be one of those games, and I don't need that right now. I needed points, and I wasn't getting any. Luckily, Jalen Waddle did catch a couple balls there at the end, towards the second half, and obviously I didn't know how much it affected the game. I didn't realize, but it was such a weird scoring game to the point where when it ended, I'm like, the Bills lost again. I was like, it's just like I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, I didn't watch the game, so I was like. It just the way it started, it just felt like the Bills had that game, and then it went away, and that was quick.
Completely disappeared. And let's not forget, to Didge's point, statistically, if you just looked at that game from the stats, it was the Bills' game, right? And let's not forget, Josh Allen had a chance to win that game to Isaiah McKenzie. But couldn't get it to him. I think it hit the dirt before it got to him. It broke up before they were able to connect with each other on that goal line stand. So I'm like, there were chances there, right? And obviously he was under a lot of pressure in that pocket. He had to scramble out for that play. But again, no one's acting like, the Bills are over or anything like that. But I do think that if you're the Bills, you do got to kind of look over your shoulder and go, maybe when we thought heading into this season we were the clear-cut favorites in this division, maybe that line ain't as far as you thought. You know what
I think this is my thing, though, and I'm saying this, and Miami can go completely downhill, but I spoke good about Miami at the beginning of the season, and I picked them in my pools that I do. I picked Miami this week. My thing is, a win is a win and a loss is a loss.
Yep.
I do think even if Buffalo would have won this game, and it wasn't in blowout fashion, that still would raise some questions, because 100%. people have Buffalo way up here, and they probably are still way up there. But my point is, put some respect on the Dolphins' name. I mean, they gonna be here, man. I mean, they gonna definitely be, barring crazy injury, barring crazy stuff. I'm telling you. I'm willing to bet you when we get down to the end of this thing, we're going to be talking about them, and we're probably looking at the top 4 seeds probably.
Yep.
Top 4 or 5 seeds. I would say 5. They're going to be here.
Yep.
I like that brand. Their offensive philosophy and new coaching staff is working pretty well for them, whereas in other teams right now it's not working as well. So you got to take your hat off to them, man.
The biggest thing for Miami is they fully support Tua. As we know, the last regime did not fully support Tua. And it looks like it's having wonders for that kid's mindset. To know that, hey, if you suck, we're going to call Ryan Fitzpatrick and bring his ass back in here to take over, right? That's what he felt under Brian Flores. Like, damn, if I throw a pick, they might call Fitzmagic back. I lose my job. Here, it's very, hey, it's you, man. Barring injury, it's you. Lead us. And I think he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, the last thing I say on that, and maybe it's just me and, loving the DBs. It was a beautiful thing, though, to see Diggs and Howard just mouthing off at each other. Like, that was, man, I was like, every time they showed those two, I was losing it, man. You'd have thought like somebody made a big play. I love that. Man.
I love that you say that because it leads me into my favorite game this week, which was Jets and the Bengals, right? And it had nothing to do with the score, the actual play of the game. I got to say this. Sauce Gardner, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll just flat out say it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. When I looked at my fantasy stats, right? Because I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Justin Herbert's out here killing me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I said, you know what? One thing I can always hang my hat on, Jamar Chase got me, right? This motherfucker, Sauce Gardner, put the clanks on that motherfucker, Jamar Chase. I think he took a lot of pride in the idea of, wait. I'm sorry. What's Jamar Chase's number? Number 1. Oh, no. There's only one number 1 on this fucking field today, baby. And that's going to be me. And he shut down Jamar Chase. Now, you're welcome to whoever had Tyler Boyd. You're fucking welcome. You're welcome that Jamar Chase is the better receiver and was completely taken out of the game. You're welcome. You ate this past weekend. But I was very proud. Too. T. Higgins also. Wait, wasn't T. Higgins who got that big hit?
Yeah, but before that, he had like 90. He had like at least 90 yards.
No. I was just trying to remember out of the two who had.
Okay.
Higgins had the hit, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was Higgins.
Yeah.
But no, with the Jets. Joel, trust me, I had that problem big time. I looked at my bench and I'm like, damn, I picked a really weird week to bench Joe Burrow and start Justin Herbert, but that's life. But no, what I really wanted to bring up for me about this game is that I'm going to say something that a lot of people are going to think is completely asinine. I think the Jets win that game and Zach Wilson's in that game. I really, truly do. I think the Bengals benefited from the idea that the defense of the Jets had to keep coming out on the field, right? So it's like you don't get a lot of rest. You know what I'm saying? And everyone knows after a certain point, those guys are tired. Their knees are done. They're winded. That's when you get the big plays, right? But I just really wanted to highlight this game. Usually I would fucking spit on the fucking grave of the Jets. But I do have to give Sauce Gardner a lot of credit, man, because locking down Jamar Chase is not easy to do. And Sauce Gardner isn't a necessarily big body. He's tall, but he's not a big body. So that means he used a lot of his athleticism and speed to shut down Jamar Chase. And damn did he. When I looked at that shit and that shit said 3, I said, 3. Y'all buffering? Like, is the sight down? The fuck you mean 3? When I looked at the highlights, I said, oh hell no.
The sight did go down at one point.
Oh, well, you know what? I need to complain. That's why. They didn't calculate everything. Did you calculate the leadership of Jamar Chase? Did you calculate how many times he gave his teammates water? Right? Yeah, come on now. You know what I'm saying? His usage rate, is that a thing? No? Prime, I want to start off with you as the principal of DBU. How impressed were you with Sauce Gardner's ability to really take it to Jamar Chase in year 1? Right? This is usually what you expect from kids that age, like year 2 or 3 when they develop a little bit more. Year 1, he was giving them fits.
Yeah, from what I saw, so the plays that I saw, they were lined up on each other. Mm-hmm. They did a pretty good job. I did see one play. I think Burrow tried to get one over the top, and there was a safety back there.
Yep.
But man, to meet that challenge, man, and Chase did get in the end zone, but dude, he ended up with like 29 yards receiving. Yep. Like, it's just a heck of an effort, man. You put a young guy on a superstar wide receiver who has and will cook many. Man, shout out to the kid, man. Shout out to the kid. Yep. Unlike you, I mean, I kind of get happy when the Jets pick players like that. It's not my squad, but I mean, the Jets. I want the Jets to finally do something, man. You know what I mean? So,
I love how you say that to me, Prime. Like I'm a Vikings fan hating on the Jets. They're in my division, Prime.
I know, I understand.
That's the only reason I hate them. Yeah, that's the only reason why.
I can root for them. I mean,
yeah, I can't.
But I do disagree. I still think they lose in that game.
Yeah.
If Zach Wilson's in?
Yeah, that was a bold statement.
I've never been
losing 3 in a row, man. Especially the Jets.
I've never been high on Joe Flacco, even in Joe Flacco's prime. I think Zach Wilson is just. I think he would have been better suited for that game plan. I really do.
From what I saw, now granted, more offense can change the flow of the game, but from what I saw, I could very easily say that the Bengals left at least another 10 points out there.
That is fair to say. But again, I think a majority of their problem came from Flacco's he had a lot of 3 and outs that kept that defense on that field a lot. Didge, you can look up time of possession, who had a larger time of possession.
Let me double check.
But for me, I kind of feel like Zach Wilson extends a lot more of those plays than Joe Flacco did.
It's pretty 32-27. 32, 30,
no, it's not massive. It's not massive. You know what that means, though, Didge? It just means Cincinnati made more of the time they were given than the Jets did. And again, I think Zach Wilson would have made a little bit better usage of the time he had if he was out there. Again, we'll see soon. He's coming back this season, so we'll see. We'll see what he's able to do.
Probably will be back next week. He's listed as questionable.
Yep. So is a certain quarterback from Dallas is apparently eyeing next week. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Jerry's going to do, though.
He's going to stay that way, though.
He ain't coming back.
Every week is going to be questionable because that's how Jerry wants it.
Philly at the earliest, I think. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, we're going to get into that game because Jerry's comments is just like, sometimes I think Jerry Jones thinks he's sometimes the owner of the Cowboys and sometimes the promoter of WWE. Because goddamn, does this motherfucker love controversy and a storyline. Goodness gracious. So essentially, Vince retired and passed it to Jerry Jones.
We need to talk about Mike McCarthy's comments after that.
We're going to get into all that. Let's finish the Jets and the Bengals. We're going to get into all that because that whole... Ooh, God bless you, Prime. But Didge. Were you impressed with... Because, again, the Jets did lose, you're right. Essentially, Jamar Chase was taken out, but Joe Burrow still did his thing out there. So I want to kind of focus in on the good elements of what the Jets were able to do in that game. How impressed were you by first-year Sauce Gardner?
Oh, he played great. I especially loved the snowman. I mean, the snow angel celebration. I love how they asked him about it afterwards. He was like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing stuff.
Shout out to the
what do they say? You do what you want when you popping?
I really like that. Was. But no, I think that, like I said, especially Sauce, he played really well. I can't necessarily say the defense played well because Joe Burrow did cook him, but he did play well, and I do think they got something in him. Maybe he should leave New York though. Go a little further north. Go a little further north.
Hey, if history tells us anything, them Jets guys love to come up. They love to come up. They love to come up. They love to come up.
Even to your point, I think Zach Wilson would have had the exact same type of day. He may not have thrown 2 picks, but
he definitely would have thrown those 2 picks. I just think he would have had maybe 1 or 2 more touchdowns, is what I'm saying. Oh, he damn sure would have threw them picks. I mean, the motherfucker just loves it, so he would have threw them picks. That's without a shadow of a doubt. But I look at, you know what I base it off of, Didge? I look at that game that the Jets played against Tennessee last year, right? When Tennessee was riding high, and Zach Wilson went in there and lit them the fuck up. Went into overtime and they pulled out that dub. And I looked at him and I'm like, there's dog in him. If he could just remember what team he's supposed to throw to, there's dog in that kid. You know what I'm saying? There's star ability, not superstar, but I think there's star ability in Zach Wilson. I just think he needs to stay healthy, and I think this is one of those games that would have shocked people because he would have came out and balled. I really do think so. But like I said, if he comes back within a week or two, we'll see what he's got when he gets back out there. We'll see what he has. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, he's questionable. So let me see who they play this week to see if that'd be a game that they would want him at.
Hey, guys, let's not forget, though, not that we have to get into it, but I just want to mention this before we jumped into this, the last two teams we talked about. Don't forget that we talked about the Dolphins and we talked about the Bengals, and they play Thursday night. So keep that.
That's very true.
They do. They do. Yeah. They do.
And looking like
Cincinnati, I'm a little worried.
Play, so we'll see.
Yeah, if I'm Cincinnati, I'm a little worried because, like you said, Prime, or Didge, I can't remember which one of you said it, but they left points on the board.
Yeah.
Not on the board, but they left points on the field there. Miami will not be the same as the Jets in regards to giving you those open opportunities for you to lose and still win that game. But maybe Jamar Chase, gets resurrected. You know what I'm saying? Full Undertaker style. I'm hoping so.
It's in Cincinnati, right?
Believe so, because they're wearing those white on whites, I think. So I think they picked the jersey, so I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joel, were you impressed at all by Sauce Gardner in this game against Jamar Chase?
Yes, actually, I was very impressed. But you know what? One of those guys that lives up to the hype, I guess, so far at least. Because coming out, he was the number one corner, and I know there was a guy I was definitely eyeing pretty hard. It didn't work out, but I'm still happy with what I got. But Sauce, yeah, to have a nickname like Sauce, you gotta live up to that name. And so far, he has. So good on him. He's looked good. And Jets got a good one there. Just have a couple good young guys. But that's definitely the cream of the crop so far, that young team. And I do like the rookie receiver. What's his name? What's his name?
I'm completely at a loss too.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the Jets? Yeah, he shined last week.
Damn it!
Oh, I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson. No,
that's Wilson, right?
I think it's.
Hold up, let me go to their roster. I'll know the name when I see
Garrett something, right?
Garrett Wilson. He shined last week. Young kid.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, that was off the top of my head.
The way Joel said that, he's so proud, and that was off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was like, I like it. That's another kid that I heard he was pretty good. So I was like, oh, shit, well, we come definitely be looking for receivers this year.
He definitely did ball out last week, man.
But he's good. I think that kid. They got some really good young talent there. So Jets, they up and coming. Those guys got to watch out for some of these dudes. Even Bryce Hall, I like Breece Hall. Good, another good kid. Even though Michael Martin's been pretty good for them too. Respect. There's some good talent there. We do got to see Wilson play with Zach. We got to see what they look like under Zach Wilson, because that's a whole different ball game. Right now it's under Flacco, and that's more of a just like wait. I mean they've stayed alive, even though they're 1-2, but. It is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's their placeholder. We already know what that situation is.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Dallas versus the Giants. Dallas versus the Giants. Let's just, Joel, get it off your chest. Go ahead, get it off your chest.
I'm not mad. I'm not.
Hold on.
Wait. Oh, that's the lightning room. I thought you were going to turn green, bro. I was like,
when I tell you, Joel, you said that like a disappointed parent. Like, hey, I'm not mad.
I'm not disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. We play hard. We're just not good. You know what I mean? The offensive line was bad.
I don't know if that's what I got out
that
of
was
there.
Good. The offensive line was terrible.
Well, sure, but the offensive line has been a problem for you guys for a long while.
Yes, but they were ridiculously bad last night. Now, I'm not going to kill he's a rookie right tackle. It's going to take him a while. He had to go up against DeMarcus Lawrence, who was a fucking problem all fucking night. I don't think Daniel Jones is... So if anybody was seeing spirits and ghosts last night, it was fucking Daniel Jones. That's how fucking times he got it. They came at his ass. They were all up in his ass. The fact that he played well, actually. I want to say Daniel Jones played well. Under all the pressure that he went through last night, that's some crazy shit. Bro.
You know what was terrifying? If you're Daniel Jones, think about this, right? You're sitting there and you're like, damn, Lawrence is literally eating my tackle's lunch, right? So think about the fact that you're watching him come
to the fucking
right
field with a bowl of cereal, that motherfucker.
you're watching Lawrence. You're watching Lawrence come. Now, you want to know what is terrifying to Daniel Jones? You're watching Lawrence come, and you don't even see Micah Parsons, right? So it's the idea of like
hearing his name, to be fair,
because there was no need to. Lawrence was just like, "Bitch, I got today." Like, right? Don't even show up to work. I got it. Take the day off. I got you. But again, I won't say that the Giants as a whole is not good.
No,
because that was very much a winnable game.
No, I was gonna say that. I didn't say that. They sucked ass. We could have easily won that game. Was that close. It was a winnable game, even as bad as we played. Because we didn't play. I can't say we played well, even though we had good moments. I think the difference is now. We have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator that are competent. What you need is good players to put with those with those minds, right? And right now, as much as I like the talent on our receiving corps, we don't have that talent because right now the best guys on at least the guys that are supposed to be the best receivers on our team are not playing like that, right? Galladay, a fucking ghost.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Joel. Watching that game in the background when we were potting yesterday, Galladay looks like a guy who does not want to be there. Because you can't tell me...
We don't want him there.
Hey, man. Hey. Don't come at one of Northern Illinois' finest.
Well, why ain't he playing like it, Didge? Goddamn, he gave up on one of those plays.
Bro,
it's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
You can't bitch about playing time and then drop the ball. You can't do that. You want to play, right? You got to catch the ball. Look at
Galladay might be
is now out for the season. He's gonna have to step up.
And it's so weird because Galladay might be one of the weirdest situations I've seen in a long time. You have a contract that's very hard to trade, right?
A bitch.
Right? Then you got a player who last year complained, I didn't get the ball at all. Now, mind you, the way that offense was run was horrible last year, right? So you get it. You get the frustration.
Worst offense.
It's different this year, and he seems like he's not even willing to give this regime a chance. He's already in the mindset of...
I don't know what it is that they can't seem to click. The team that he just doesn't fit. I guess when a coaching staff has their way, they have their way. Because Richie James got all them snaps. Sterling Shepard found a way into getting all them snaps. So he's the lead receiver at this point. Well, now he's done, but at the time he was. Kadarius Toney always hurt. I think that guy's talent up his ass, but he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
he didn't even play this week because he was hurt. Yep. He's gonna have to step up too. Galladay's gonna have to step up. Tony's gonna have to step up. And our rookie Wan'Dale Robinson also hurt. He didn't play. He hasn't played since week 1. So that's another guy.
Don't forget one of the biggest things that hurt you on defense, Joel. Leonard Williams hadn't missed a game.
Yeah, I heard a lot, especially in the running.
Monday night. Right,
there was a lot of
hadn't missed the game
right in the middle there that would never have happened if Big Cat was healthy. So I hurt.
I will say you clearly knew you weren't getting pressure when you were blinking your eyes and you were like, "I'm sorry, am I watching Aaron Rodgers or Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush had like days to fucking throw the ball, bro.
Years was just sitting there. Who's open today?
What the fuck is going on? And our two best pass rushers are finally healthy again. It's their first game back. They barely did anything. It's just one of those things. Like that's what I mean. Like we didn't even play well, but we still had a chance to win it.
Yep.
Because I do think there's a competent team somewhere in there. It's just it's gonna take some time to gel, especially for the offensive line. It's gonna take time for them to gel. And
also, Joel, you guys need to do what I was throwing to you 2 weeks ago that I thought you guys should do more. You guys should do more RPOs. Daniel Jones ran for 79 yards. Now, albeit he had to do it because he was running for his life. Right. But he has legs. He does. And I think, again, I'm not saying it like Daniel Jones running makes them an additional weapon, but he keeps the defense honest, right? He keeps the linebackers honest for you to be able to do those play action plays as somebody deep. You know, if Galladay decides to find his balls and play football, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, but to me, you just got to utilize your run game more because that is your biggest strength. Is your running game.
Yeah, and they stifled us last night too, yeah. So it was very tough. It took a while to get. They found some holes, but it wasn't like the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I mean we got beat at both lines, defensive and offensive, and it was very much a hard. It was a tough day, man. But I still think it was still winnable, and I think that's why I'm not completely upset because like I think we still could have pulled it off if we did certain things right and got a couple more stops here and there. I mean, you know, the way the ball bounced any given Sunday. Yesterday was Monday, but any given Sunday, you know how it is. You know, things could change.
No, they can. In Prime, look, passing it over to you, you guys left a massive play on the field. CeeDee Lamb.
Please.
I don't know if CeeDee Lamb has something in his contract that says you can't catch every wide open pass. You can only catch some of them. But goddamn, that one that was, if he had caught it, would have been 5 yards out from the end zone. He just fucking dropped it. Even the defender was like a yard and a half away from him. He just like, nope. Sorry, guys. Like, if you want to be that number one guy, especially with the game Amari Cooper just had last week against Pittsburgh, you can't have Amari that people talk about like shit play that well, and you being the heir apparent not playing that well. You know what I'm saying? You got to live up to that. But, Prime, I want to ask you, even in a win, you know, there were a few things I thought Dallas could have done, you know, tremendously better. And I got to ask you this, Prime. Is there a clause in Ezekiel Elliott's contract that says he can't ever reach 100 yards in a game? This motherfucker seems like he'll hit 79, 86, 94, but won't hit that 100. Is it something like what's going on with him?
Well, to be fair, if you go back and look at the attempts, though, in most of these games, he's finishing somewhere between 11 to 15 attempts. To be fair,
yeah.
You know, the way that they've been running them, and now what we're starting to see, which we saw in last night's game, that thunder and lightning. You know, that timeshare versus everybody sitting there crying about it should always be this person. It should always be Pollard's more explosive. Yeah, Pollard is definitely more explosive. But as you saw last night, and I preach every week, Zeke a couple of times picked up some nice blocks, man, where, you know, Cooper Rush could have got blasted. You see what I'm saying? That's the strength of his game. Yep. And Pollard is not that guy. Even though he picked up a nice block last week, but you know, we saw week one, he got demolished. So, but no, I just think if you're talking about Zeke, you got to kind of look at the attempts too when it goes with that. And as far as, you know, we talk about CeeDee Lamb, yeah, he did drop it, but this is nothing new. If you remember last year, he had a case of the drops in probably like 3 or 4 games.
Yep.
And I think we were lucky enough to still win. I think only one of the games, I think one of the drops ended up being kind of crucial later on, but he made up for it. In spectacular fashion at that. I mean, that one-handed grab was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And we got to give up the nice placement by Cooper Rush. And, you know, I look, man, I know I said it last week, but we got to really think about something with Cooper Rush, man. Mm-hmm. Granted, he's a guy as a backup coming in doing his job. Now he's 3-0. I think he's the first undrafted rookie since Kurt Warner to go 3-0, right? Do you understand that he is helping to win these games once again with that receiving core? Mm-hmm. You know, he's found a love for Noah Brown. Noah Brown is essentially the 4th or 5th receiver on that team on a normal when they're healthy.
No.
You understand? Noah Brown. So this guy is falling in love with Noah Brown. Noah Brown's made some big plays. So you look at, you know, what he's done the last 2 weeks. He comes into this game last night. So Noah Brown elevates one of, you know, he's still the number 2 guy. You got the first sight of the Cowboys rookie in a game this year, Tolbert, who was actually projected to be the number 4 guy, right? Before Washington got hurt. Lost in the midst of all of that is the fact that they started their 3rd string tight end last night, who granted looked pretty crappy. He had like 2 penalties and a drop before he makes a huge play, I believe, on that last drive on the catch. Yeah. So just think about what Cooper Rush has had to deal with. He hasn't come in here, okay, I'm the starting quarterback and I got my full, complement of weapons, right? Mm-hmm. Cowboys are still figuring out the offensive line. They bring in Peters finally gets to play last night, and they actually put him at guard. Not tackle, he played guard. So I think, last night, I was thoroughly impressed, and it actually won me my pool by score, because my score that I had in my pool was 23-19. I had the closest score. Okay. And it ended up being 23-16, right? I was, I was dead on.
Y'all didn't block that fucking kick.
But overall, man, like I say, I agree. Giants had some chance to win it. I figured it would be that type of game. But I was pretty stoked with the way everybody played. You mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence, Quentin Bohanna, Dorrance Armstrong was a beast for the second week in a row on that D line, and Donovan Wilson, man, number 6, the last 2 weeks has been everywhere.
I wanted to ask you this, Prime. Can I ask you? And this isn't even me trying to be funny. I'm literally asking because I don't always watch Dallas, so I'm trying to get you to answer this for me. Why are you guys paying Leighton Vander Esch money? And not
he's got to be gone.
Okay. I'm just.
You gotta understand. What you gotta understand is Leighton Vander Esch went from having a great year. Mm-hmm. Him and Jalen Smith back there looking like they about to be the young Wolves of Wolfpack. Mm-hmm. To it all of a sudden had got hurt again, that neck situation. Right. He hasn't quite been the same. We've been fortunate enough to be able to keep him in there on low money.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just
nobody else. Yeah, nobody else is going to give him a bunch of loot. He knows our system. We got actually now when we're healthy, we actually got 2 or 3 other linebackers, so we can rotate them out, let him play. We ain't got to pay him a lot. He knows the system. He's going to make a play or 2 here and there on a tackle. Yeah. So you don't have to pay him any money. That's the type of guy you actually keep around, right? If you don't have to give him that big contract, the neck injury really messed him up. But like I say, overall, I think the defense is still really, we know Rush is the story because he's the quarterback. But let's be honest, the first 3 weeks, all things considered, that defense has been pretty darn good in every game.
It's been what's been holding you. It's been what's been holding you. That's for damn sure. But I do got to ask you, Prime, before I pass it to Didge, how nervous were you when Saquon broke free for that touchdown? How nervous were you?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and this is not really talking trash. I was like, look, it's got to break at some point. Okay, so this is – look, I was used to having, my heart broken years ago back, and then we would play the Giants, and it'd be a close game, and then Eli, somebody would drop one, and, drop one right in the bread basket, and they field goal to win it. So I look at it, we had won 9 of the last 10, I believe, against the Giants. Mm-hmm. Type of season, Saquon's already had one big game. So if it went down like that, and that's the way it had to be, and we would have lost the game, as long as we didn't get blown out, I guess I could live with it. You know what I'm saying? I could live with it. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't hate as much in my division unless you're Washington Commander. I'm rooting for Saquon, man. So I'm glad he's doing well, and that was a nice run last night.
That's for sure. And I'm gonna say this as I pass it to you, Didge, because I don't want Prime to interject here. So I'm gonna say it and pass it to you quickly, Didge. A, that was not an offensive. That was not an offensive pass interference, and B, that was not a successful interception by Trayvon Diggs.
Yes, it was.
No, they robbed the Giants. That was not a successful interception. That shit hit the ground like a mother sucker. It hit the ground like a mother sucker.
Well, look.
I'm sorry.
I promise you. I ain't gonna say
No, Prime. I was joking. Go ahead.
No, I will say, though, I will give you the offensive pass interference situation. The pass interference one. But what about the one they missed down the end zone earlier? That was an obvious pass interference call.
There was a lot of back and forth. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to say that cancels it out, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, probably a touchdown for us, right?
Okay.
So I'm just saying, but
I give you that.
You're wrong about the last one. That was obviously an interception.
Sorry. And you want to know the main reason why I am adamant that was not an interception? Because only one player in NFL history can make that goddamn catch, and he's sitting on his couch. And that's Julian goddamn Edelman, okay? That was not a catch because Trayvon Diggs is not that gifted to be able to catch shit like that. Okay, that was no. I don't give a damn. That hit the turf. Okay, Didge, I'm passing it to you. I'm curious your thoughts on that call, and then your thoughts on that game.
So I was on the plane, so I didn't get a chance to watch the game live, but I did watch that play.
Right.
That was an interception.
No, Didge. That was an interception. No. It was. Here's how I knew it wasn't truly an interception. When they kept showing the replay, and Prime, you can call me out if I'm wrong, and I apologize if I am. I swear to God, they kept showing it from the same one angle. They wouldn't show it from another angle that would have shown it hit the goddamn ground. It hit the ground.
Which guy they had calling the game last? I mean, the analyst used to be the official guy. Whichever guy it was, he said it was an interception. He got his gloves, his hands under the football.
Right, his hand, and the ball can still touch the ground as long as it's not helping you catch it.
Yeah, but he pretty much got his old hands up under that bad. That was an interception.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Let me tell you my true intentions. Joel is my best friend, and that shit hit the ground. Okay, the Giants were robbed.
Joel ain't saying nothing.
I didn't watch the play because I was already done.
I was gonna say when we were podcasting, I said, Joel, did you see it? I turned it off. I said, oh damn, okay.
I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, this is gonna be bad. Okay. I mean, it actually turned out to be better than I expected, but still. I was done.
Joel checked out around the when Shepard had fumbled. Joel said, I'm done. I'm calling it a day, guys. We can go ahead and go out. But no, Didge. So that was a catch, no problem. But you saw? Did you see the highlights, or are you saying you only saw that play?
Yeah. No, I saw the highlights after. I just obviously I didn't see the game live.
Yeah.
I was checking it mainly to see how Saquon was going to do for me. Mm-hmm. I needed him to kind of ball out. He got me close, but
they were fucking wall, man.
I mean, he did really well.
He got you there, not all the way.
He got me there. Everybody else on my team just kind of. Everybody else just kind of ruined me.
Hey, you know what's funny? No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish yours.
I'm more interested. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the big thing out of this game is the whole the comments pregame. Mike McCarthy's comments about how there's no quarterback controversy after Jerry Jones saying, well, there might be a quarterback controversy. And him saying, well, that's just Jerry being Jerry.
100%.
I never thought Mike McCarthy would just say that. But I thought they were just going to have to live with.
To be fair, he said the most honest thing, because if you're telling me, right? And look, Jerry Jones is rich enough to have this mindset. So if he does, God bless him. But if you paid Dak Prescott all that goddamn money, and a year into that contract, you're already telling him that the backup now has his job, but he still gets paid? That is probably the most Jerry Jones thing I've ever seen in the history of football. By all means, you go ahead, you do you, brother. But in all realism, there's no way you pay Dak all that money and he's healthy and he's on the bench for Cooper Rush. Like what are we talking about right now? You know what I'm saying?
You know what that really is? I'm gonna be honest with you. One, he's trying to keep it as even keel in Texas as he can because he knows his job is on the line. Mike McCarthy, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And he knows his job is on the line. And look, he knows regardless what anyone thinks about Dak Prescott, he has a lot better chance of keeping his job in the long run. Okay, if Dak is the quarterback versus Cooper Rush. But I can say this because ain't no other Cowboy fans on here. So I'm going to say this and people can think I'm hating, but I'm not. He's also probably smart enough to understand the psyche of Dak Prescott. And I'm not going to sit here and bash the guy. Number 4 is my quarterback. But I was way ahead of this curve everybody's jumping on now, talking about how good is he really. I've had already seen what he looks like in big games, right? Mm-hmm. That get a little shaky. You can say what you want. We can blame it on the offense. He gets a little shaky. So McCarthy's sitting there thinking about, man, and then if he gets in Dak's head and he plays worse than he already does in a lot of these big games, then I'm certainly screwed.
I will say this.
Is on the line.
If Didge, I pass it back to you. If you are Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones, one thing you should pay attention to, right? I'm just saying it worked out for Philly, right? Where you let your backup completely take reins, right? And then you said, you know what? Even though Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, we're going to go with our young kid, right? And when that young kid looked like he was shaken beyond reproach, you got him the fuck up out of there. And if you're Dallas, you might want to play around with Cooper Rush, right? So he has that one massive F-up game to where you go, all right, Dak, get back in here. Play it out. If Cooper Rush has won over this locker room and can get these guys that aren't your top guys playing up to par and winning games, and you put Dak back in and they start losing,
do we have
that's how you make
here?
Yeah, that's how you make a quarterback controversy, is if the backup is winning, you put your starter in and you start losing, right? Because then that becomes a whole nother problem. Does the locker room not respond to Dak? Is he not the leader we thought he was? It starts to spin those questions. So for me, I don't rush Dak back. Cooper Rush right now is what? They're 2-1?
Yeah.
Let him rock for another week or two.
Coming up this weekend.
Let him rock for another week or two. If he loses the next 2 games, Dak, you're back in, right? Because it's, again, I know in football losing 1 game or 2 games could make a difference, but you lose those 2 games, you just at that point have to try to look to win your division, right? You still haven't played Philly yet, right? You got to play them twice, so that can make a difference in you winning your division. You just beat the Giants. You play Washington. So I'm like, it might not be that drastically serious if, God forbid you do drop those 2 beaters. You know what I'm saying? But to me, you take Cooper Rush out and start losing games. Whew, God bless you.
Yeah,
God bless you.
It was just interesting to see Mike McCarthy go on record to just basically be like, yeah, Jerry's just talking. I feel like you don't see that from coaches that often.
That man is senile. You need him to fuck
You don't. And look, Didge, it ain't only in football, because when we get to basketball, we had a comment like that said in basketball. We gonna get to, but that's for a little later on. But no, to me, I just left this game going. I think Dallas is exactly who we thought they were coming out of this week, and that the Giants aren't as far off as people try to make them sound. Me and Joel were saying, I think the Giants' true problem is you just need a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. That's really all it comes down to.
Even though he was not.
Wait, say it again, Prime.
Y'all gonna make a run at Cooper Rush?
You joke, but they might end up making a run for Dak Prescott when y'all keep
know what Jerry's doing, right? This is about money. Look, Jerry gives him a little bit of change for being a high paid backup, and wait for somebody to come calling down the road with the offer, and he can't refuse.
Hey, might be Chicago, might be Tennessee, it might be somebody sometime soon. That's like, hey, Dak.
I want 2
what you doing, Dak?
Draft picks.
Just don't let Jerry Jones turn into fucking Danny Ainge. Just don't let that happen. But anyway, let's move on. Didge, I'm gonna let you take full control of this one because I have no words. I'm sick to my stomach. I've given up on football. Basketball starts soon. Mets are in the playoffs. I don't really give a damn about football. But talk about your little, measly, pathetic-ass Patriots. What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? What's popping off this weekend?
Honestly, there's some things to be excited about. There are some things definitely to be heard about. The Mac Jones injury, that means a lot. That's going to hurt a lot. Having Brian Hoyer be out there to be your starting QB, that's something nobody wants.
Time out. You already messed up. His name is Hoyer the Destroyer. Okay? Get ready.
So, that's definitely something nobody wants out there. It's a lot to ask.
Could be worse.
Don't like it. It could be worse. It could be worse.
I don't think so, Joel.
We didn't see last year for the Giants then. It could be worse.
Well, sure. Okay. If that's what you mean, then yes, 100%. Sure. Yeah. Okay. I get you.
But there were some things to be excited about. We saw Devontae Parker finally. He started showing some signs of life. Ramondre Stevenson was out there showing signs of life. So was Damian Harrison. Damian Harris. I said Harrison.
No,
but Damian Harrison was out there. He was out there showing signs. Now, defense. I was here just last week saying, "Oh, the defense they've been showing fine. They've been showing great." Mm-hmm. And of course, they were like, "Oh yeah, he's hyping us up. Let's let him down. Mm-hmm. Let's let him down in the worst type of way."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, there are things you definitely you definitely didn't like. Like Lamar, I think he threw 4 touchdowns, ran for another, made us look silly. But there were things, we were in the game for, I think, until mid-third, probably going into the fourth. And even so, we lost by 9. No, we lost by 11.
Be more specific, Didge. We were in the game, so Mac Jones said, here comes pressure. I'm going to just throw the fucking football in the air.
Because I think
I'm not even going to aim it at my receiver. Just
I forgot what point I had messaged the group saying, look, we're up. It was like midway through the third.
And what was my response, Didge? What was my response?
To be fair,
this did not age well.
No, to be fair, when you sent that back, we had just scored again, and we were down a point. So I was like, I was against Agent, just okay. We're still in good graces. Then we didn't score again.
There you go. There you go. That's the important part. That's the part I want the people to hear. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I told you last week, and it seems to be the same issue. They have no identity. None whatsoever.
But the offense play, we put up, I think, over 400 yards of offense.
Now, here's my question to you. What were you saying to us last week? I still am not sold on the Dolphins. I'm still not sold on Tua, right? And Tua lit the fucking Ravens the fuck up. So to me, it seems more so that Ravens secondary is not what we thought that they were going to be this year. More so than I could give credit to the quarterbacks that light up that said defense. You know what I'm saying?
Let me look at their week 1 before I say sure.
Okay. No problem. Go ahead.
Oh, damn it, they played the Jets.
They did. And
Joe Flacco threw 300 yards.
They did. Right. So, Didge, am I giving Mac Jones credit for an amazing game, or is that Ravens secondary not what we thought?
Mac Jones still didn't have an amazing game. He threw for 300 yards, sure, but he threw for 3 interceptions.
Sure did.
So I'm not going to call it an amazing game. But I think our offense showed signs of life, and that's what I really wanted. Show us that you have some signs of life. Because we're going into a very tough Green Bay game this week, and I have to hear my dad yell at me for 3 hours straight, basically.
Yeah, as he's talking right now. I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers watched what Lamar did and started licking his lips. He's like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Let me see if I can get 8 touchdowns and 6 rushing. Let me see if I can break off some of that. Hell yeah. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is the Patriots defense looked this abysmal, but Jonathan Jones is the highest ranking cornerback in the NFL. The man's, I think, PER or something like that, is ranked number 1 amongst all cornerbacks. So that means whenever the ball is thrown his way, it's fucking elite. But they're just throwing to everybody else on the field and getting shitted on.
I'm almost positive all of Lamar's touchdown passes were, I know two were to Mark Andrews, and I think the other 2 were to another tight end and I think a running back.
Yeah, so we had really shitty linebacker play yesterday.
Yeah.
Not yesterday, Sunday. Really, that kid we just got from the Browns that we traded for in the Browns looked fucking lost. Lost out there.
Was that Jabril Peppers?
No. Jabril Peppers played well, but again, remember, that's not. He shouldn't be starting. He's only starting because Kyle Duggar is out.
I was going to say Jabril Peppers looked okay.
No, I'm talking about Mac Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Mac Wilson looked fucking abysmal. I'm just saying this. New England has no identity. I don't know what the fuck Bill's doing. Bill is starting to look like Greg Popovich out there. He collecting checks. Right? He's collecting checks, and his old ass is forgetting how to throw that fastball. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Because, goddamn it, I don't remember the last time the Spurs were in the playoffs.
I still have hope. The Spurs were in the playoffs like 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Might have been less than that. Let me see.
Because I think the last time they made the playoffs was when Kawhi was there, and that damn sure was 2 years ago.
I don't think it was that long.
They were in a playing game, I think.
Oh, no, they did make the playoffs with LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan and got the ass waxed. I do remember that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2018, 2019.
Okay, yeah, that's forever ago. We're in, 2036 now? Yeah, that's forever ago. Don't nobody remember that shit. Prime, as I pass it to you, I want you to just straight out, Prime, tell Didge, because I already understand it, but I want you to be as honest as you can with Didge. and you tell him that Bill got to go. Just let him know, Prom. Let him know. It's okay.
What?
Hey, look, man. Juwaan, you my man, $50,000, but I stay out of the family business, man. I got my own problems. I got my own problems down in Big D. I mean, I'm my own problems, so I'm gonna stay out of family business, man.
Oh man, no. All jokes aside, I promise. I pass it to you. I will say this: that for people that are like, Bill didn't lose his fastball. It's just the talent's not what it should be, defensively, offensively, whatever you want to say. I think what Bill is sorely lacking is what Josh McDaniels provided, and what's his name that was the coach for the Dolphins last year. What's his name? Brian Flores. What those two provided him was a safety net because they excelled at their said jobs, right? They were so good, Bill could just walk in and know that the offense is taken care of, the defense is taken care of. I don't really have to give that much, right? And now you're in a position to where you're looking at your defensive coordinator to a degree as your fucking son, right? Your offensive coordinator is essentially the fucking guy that works at fucking Best Buy, right? So it's like you have no defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. You're creating plays. And it looks like you're pretty shitty at it, is what it's looking like, right? So I'm like, I'm watching it, and I love it. Are you saying
Patricia's the guy that work at Best Buy?
Yes, 100%. Patricia looks like the manager.
I was trying to figure that out before I asked.
He looks like the manager that walks out and goes, "Hey."
I was trying to figure it out.
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you, is he working inside the building, or is he on the outside when they put the speakers and stuff in the car?
Both.
You know what I'm saying?
Both.
Oh, okay. Right.
But he rotates. So I mean, Didge, I love that you still have hope. And deep down, I think a part of me still does too. But the problem is, it's a fixable problem that it just seems Bill refuses to fix this year, right? And it seems like if this is his mindset going forward, albeit, let me remind you guys, Josh McDaniels is doing a hell of a job getting himself fired out there in Las Vegas. So he might soon come home, right? He might soon come home. But outside of that, I don't see where the silver lining is in this team. Like we don't have a massive injury that we're like, yo, when he gets back, shit's really good. We don't have any of that. There's no savior on the way. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I think we should be calling Green Bay, Tampa Bay, all these other teams that have these weapons that we could better use defensively and just become a bend but don't break offensive team. That's what you need to become. To where Mac Jones is just don't fuck up, right? Our defense just held this team to 14 points. You just got to get a fucking field goal to win us this game. That is it. But if you're telling me that the defense is going to look like that and Mac Jones has to put up 30 a game, this little injury he ran into, that motherfucker will see daily. Daily. That offensive line is ass. That defensive line is ass. The secondary is ass. I still can't find our fucking tight ends. I don't know if they're on a sabbatical. I don't know where the fuck they at. Have you seen them, Didge? I ain't seen Jonnu Smith since media day. Where the fuck he at?
I think he had a couple catches.
In Madden?
He had 4 catches.
It ain't the tight end's fault.
It ain't the tight end's fault. I ain't seen these motherfuckers run open once.
It was a big part because of your coaching staff, man. Y'all don't.
Y'all got Joe Judge. You good though?
Hey.
Yo, Joel, I almost slapped the shit out you, virtually. You really offended me just now. No, but Prime, seriously, you could either do a takeaway from how horrible New England looked, or how true to MVP form Lamar Jackson looked. However you want to take this.
Don't talk about how horrible New England looked.
I'm not going to talk about. It's hard for me to talk about New England because they get to the point for me they hard to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I said last week I don't know if they know what the identity is. Like I don't think they want to have one. But Lamar, Lamar again. Look, man, Lamar so far is doing what you do when you want money. And let's be real. And he picked a great time to start to showcase that. Yeah, I can do a little more with the arm than y'all give me credit for. Now, granted, I'm not one of those people who say I told you so, because I do honestly believe there was some problems. I don't think he was the passer last year, and definitely the year before that he's becoming now. So it's not one of those. I don't think with Lamar's one of those situations where he's always been that guy. Right. I'll stick to that. I've seen some stuff, but I wanted him to do well, and so far he's looking like he's looking really good. And like I said, he's got more weapons now than just a Mark Andrews. Even though him and Mark Andrews was just crapping on them, crapping on Sunday night. But yeah, man, shout out to the kid, man. I don't know if y'all saw the joint. I had put on the Twitter page or whatever, but in all Wire fans from the series.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest crime drama ever. The Wire, when Marlo stands up and tells everybody in the co-op that basically said that the price of the brick is about to go up.
Yep.
He said that's Lamar every week standing in front of the Ravens organization telling them the price about to go up. So shout out to the kid.
That's not the only reference. Yeah. He looking real Omar out there. It's looking real spooky in these streets when Lamar pop out. It's looking real spooky.
To the stadium in a trench coat. You know what I'm saying?
He might one week. Halloween right around the corner. He might. But I think right now the MVP race is lockstep between Lamar Jackson and the kid in Philly. I really do believe right now that is the MVP race.
I agree.
I believe it will drastically change as we go further into the season. It's so early, but right now it's between those two. And it's not even close. It's between those two.
I agree.
It's between those two. Joel, this is your chance to laugh at Didge because me and you are Giant fans. So if you want to laugh at Didge for being a Patriot fan, you can go ahead and do so. Or you could just take this time to praise Lamar Jackson, whichever one you want.
I really got nothing to say about the Patriots. Do you guys really have a guy named Lil Jordan as a receiver?
No. Time out. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
No, real.
No. All jokes aside, because Bill Belichick was asked about him. So Bill is actually giving him more snaps than Kendrick Bourne.
I've noticed.
And Bill's answer to why is because Jordan can be used more. Well, no, I think he probably hates it. But Jordan can be used more because he has a body of a tight end. So you could use him for more things than you can Kendrick Bourne. Now, mind you, I haven't seen Jordan catch that many balls since the start of the season. So I'm not really understanding Bill's math. But
he's had 3 targets all year with 1 reception. So I get what Bill is saying, but in actuality, it doesn't seem like it's working out the way he claims it's going.
Not when every time you bring Kendrick Bourne and the motherfucker's getting a 40-yard bomb or fumbling, but a 40-yard bomb. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really help. But yes, we do have a player.
That's a real name. That's crazy.
Yes, Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Got everybody on the squad. Lil Wayne.
Joel, are you trying to pull a Key and Peele and make fun of our fucking players' names?
I've seen some fucked up names.
At least we didn't have a DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
We did not. We did not.
What the fuck is it, DeBrickashaw Ferguson?
That is a real person.
That is a real person for sure.
I remember when he got drafted.
Yeah.
I remember the day he disappeared, and I said, "Yep."
A while back.
He left just as he entered.
DeBrickashaw. No, but other than that, I really got not much to say. But I still trying to figure out who's your coordinators. But I guess y'all don't care either. So
they don't even know.
No, see, okay. That narrative has to stop. We care every fucking waking moment. It's just we'll never get the answer. We'll never get the answer. So we can't keep racking our head around it.
It's what's his name? Steve Belichick.
Gerard Mayo.
And I guess fucking Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia.
I guess. I don't know. That's what I got.
Here's the thing, Didge. Here's the thing. You don't have to guess. You want to know why you don't have to guess, Didge? Because watch Mac Jones when they call timeout. He runs to fucking Matt Patricia. That's who he runs over to every time. So that's the offensive coordinator. I've never seen him run to Joe. Now, I have seen Joe Judge come and talk to him when the defense is on the field. But to me, that could be anybody. A quarterback's coach does that. But when they call it timeout, he runs to Matt Patricia. That seems like an offensive head coach to me. An offensive coach, sorry. Or coordinator, sorry. But did you want to add anything else, Joel?
What's his, Lamar Jackson. He's good.
I love how you said that, Joel. like you just finally admitted it. That motherfucker is good.
No. The thing is, I had to play against fucking Lamar Jackson this week, so that shit almost cost me that whole game, bro. Fucking crazy. Put up 40-something points by himself. I'm like, I won by 5, barely won this week in fantasy. Shit was crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm 0-3 as the world predicted, so life's great over here. Anyway, Didge, so the word on Mac Jones is right now that there's a controversy going on. Apparently,
who is Mac Jones?
Apparently, Mac Jones wants surgery. Bill does not. And apparently, Mac's recovery time would be about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Bill believes he could be back in 3 to 4.
Okay.
So
Bill's ankle.
Right. I love the way you said that, Joe.
Jerry Belichick.
So look, I don't know, man. I don't know. All I'm saying is, hey, Ravens continue to underestimate Lamar so he can hit the free agency market. We can fire Bill, make an offer to Lamar, trade away Mac Jones, and get back to where we need to be.
It's about making an offer is one thing, but they kind of like each other, evidently.
They love each other.
He always talk good about Bill. Lamar is one of the few people that can get Bill a smile. So
I'll say this. Nobody can convince me Bill wouldn't have drafted Lamar had Tom Brady not been on that roster. There's no way you convince me that. There's no fucking way. There's no way. No way. No way in hell you starting that season with Brian Hoyer if Lamar Jackson was available. And he was, and they chose N'Keal Harry. Or no, was that the year that they chose Sony Michel? No. It was N'Keal Harry. Or was it Sony Michel? Was it Sony Michel?
Yeah, Harry.
How many years?
I think
How many years has Lamar Jackson been in the league? 5?
Since 2018, right?
Okay, so yeah, it was him. It was Sony Michel.
Gave us a good couple of years, and then just
he was never that.
By the way, Sony Michel.
Yeah, I'd never like Sony Michel.
Sony Michel for us was magnificent.
No, we took Isaiah Wynn too. We had 2 first rounds that year.
No, but I understand always taking.
Michel played pretty well with y'all for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, we had a good couple.
That's Super Bowl.
Sony we had a good couple of years with him, and then, like I said, after it was just
my fantasy.
Actually, I'm sorry. That playoff year against the Chargers, Sony Michel had like 3 or 4 touchdowns. Against the Chiefs, that kid was balling. In the Super Bowl, he was balling. Yeah, that year. I'll give him that year. He was magnificent. But if you're Damian Harris, you got to look at that and go, damn, Ramondre Stevenson's definitely about to take my job. And he is. He is. So, you're out of here, Damian Harris. A lot of people, Didge, on Patriot fan pages are asking for New England to sign Cam Newton.
I saw that.
First thing I said is, well, y'all are desperate. Y'all are desperate. I'm already of the mindset, hey, you can call the season, no problem. See what's popping off with that number 1 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? See what's popping off with that. We ain't had that in a long time. Let's see what that's hitting off for. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, as a Knicks fan, we got the number 3 pick, and RJ Barrett is starting to turn into what we had always hoped for him to be. So fuck it. Let's take a dabble in that top 5. Let's see what that life is about. Right? See if there's a quarterback. See if one of them fucking Manning kids is available. Right? Since they can beat the Patriots so bad, let's see if you can win for the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Put one of them motherfuckers out there.
Or not.
But yeah, New England disgusts me, and I hate them, and I've always been a Giants fan since I was a kid. And my dad bought me Lawrence Taylor stuff and Brandon Jacobs stuff, stuff like that.
We're still holding out hope, Pate. We're still holding out hope. Okay. All
right. Again, I'm going to see you in like 6 to 8 weeks, Didge, when Baker has won 10 games and the Patriots are mathematically completely out of everything. Okay? We're going to revisit this, all right? You're going to have to walk
Baker's
back
not going to win 10 games.
Yeah, but I love how you didn't argue that New England take. But all right, guys, let's move on.
Yeah, well, not get hasty here.
I'm just saying. All right, let's move on to the fact that 2 quarterbacks played each other that I believe are quite on their way out of the NFL. And that was Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I didn't know who looked older in this game, really. Because neither one of their defenses really impresses me. And a lot of people made the excuse, well, both of them aren't really working with the greatest of receivers. True. Very true. But I saw Tom Brady make household names out of guys that were pumping gas the week before. So I don't want to hear that shit. And Aaron Rodgers just believes he's the god of all things football. So make it happen. I don't give a fuck. Y'all are too great to have excuses. Fuck out of here. But Packers beat the Buccaneers. I really don't have anything to say about this, but I guess finally Rodgers got the upper hand on Brady. If only he could do it in the postseason, right? But Didge, I'll start off with you because Tom Brady is where you begin and end with football. So how did you think he looked out there?
This was I thought it was a pretty fun game. I was watching it at a Packers bar in Denver, so that was an interesting thing. And it was very much a game where I'm like, this could go wherever because neither team looked particularly great. Tampa was taking it up and down the field and they just couldn't finish it off. And then Green Bay, outside of those two real touchdown drives, weren't really doing much. So it was one of those games where I'm like, I don't know where this is going to end up. And then when he got the touchdown at the end, I thought the 2-point conversion was just a foregone conclusion. So for the Packers defense to step up there, I was like, that could be something for them to hang their hat on moving forward. They got a cupcake this week. I mean, no Mac Jones. Patriots are going to be great.
First of all, no. Don't you dare flavor that like if Mac Jones was there, it wouldn't have still been a walk in the park for Aaron Rodgers. He would have walked his ass like a dog. But what are you seeing, Didge, as the future for your boy Tom for the remainder of this season? Because, again, even if Mike Evans comes back, Mike Evans' problem is he's either getting hothead suspensions or he's injured, right? So it's like you can't even fully depend on that. So where's your savior coming from? Because it damn sure ain't Gronk. That damn sure ain't what you have.
Maybe Godwin, because I think Godwin hasn't played yet this year.
No, he hasn't. He's still recovering.
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He played
week one.
Yeah.
And he got dinged up or whatever. Yeah.
I should know. I have him in fantasy, and I just
damn, Didge. I thought you were saying it like you really didn't know.
I mean, we had
him. Yeah.
He got locked down too in week one. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean,
who did they play week one, by the way, Prime?
These dudes, they wear like a star on their helmet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some guys. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, rich owner. Sure. I don't know.
The richest. But Didge, do you think Tom Brady can salvage the rest of this season with this team?
I do think they still win this division.
Okay.
I think they win NFC South. I don't see Super Bowl. And if they do, it's on the back of that defense. I don't think this is the Tom Brady, sort of the Peyton Manning last year. He looks every bit of 45 out there. Like, every bit of it. And I think
Peyton Manning couldn't run. I saw Tom Brady run for a first down. I'm just saying.
And there was a massive hold there. Two of them.
There was. You're absolutely right. I can't even front you. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, like I said, I can still see them making, because that defense is still great.
Okay.
Like I know you said you're not impressed by it.
I am.
But that defense is great. And that's going to win them more games than Tom Brady's going to lose them. I don't even think he's going to lose them a game. It's just he's not going to win them any games.
Okay. All right. Prime, do you agree with that? Do you think Brady can salvage this season and make a run for the postseason?
Of course, because it's Tom Brady. I agree with Didge. Well, I really don't, because Didge say he looks every bit at 45. I think he looks like he's about 47. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. But, I mean, even this past week, what did you really expect the guy to do? Okay, no Mike Evans, no Godwin. no Julio. I know we used to Julio not being on the field, right? I mean, but the quarter of the season, but Julio didn't play. So you go out and you sign a Cole Beasley with 3 or 4 days before he's supposed to play. He suits up. You know, you have Perriman with Russell Gage, Scotty Miller. I mean, even then, to be in this game at the end, you know, getting the pass to Russell Gage and you being, you know, down all those weapons. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think they got a chance of actually being there. They could, you know, they get in the playoffs as anybody's game. You can win. We saw last year. You can win a game or 2 weeks in a row. That's by playing good defense. It's just a matter of the health of this particular team.
Yeah.
On the flip side, I will say though, from that game, I expected it to be low scoring. I don't know if I quite had it 14-12 or whatever, but I expected it to be low scoring. I'd have been shocked if both teams scored over 20. I thought if you'd have told me that one team, and I picked Green Bay, but somebody would have won this game, you know, 20-13 or 20-17, I would have believed it. But I will say for Aaron Rodgers, going against that defense, which I agree with Didge, I think that defense of the Bucs is good. Is that maybe he's starting to find something. So he got Lazard back, but last week Lazard scores again. And then the one guy, you know, the one young guy who hasn't disappointed as much has been the least talked about guy, and that's Romeo Doubs, right? Yeah. Everybody was waiting for Watson to really be that guy, and he's the one dropping the most passes, right? But Doubs comes out and has a pretty decent game. He scores. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm looking at this like, look, through all these tough times, I went against one of the better defenses in the league, and two of my guys caught touchdown passes. So, you know, we just move on.
Yeah. Joel, your thoughts on the guy that you've never truly respected because the Giants always made him, you know, their bitch. But you know, how do you look at Brady this year? Do you do you see him pulling it through and making that playoff push?
Fuck, I need him to. He's my fantasy quarterback. Like this fucking, he's been really pedestrian the last couple weeks. And like he was barely giving me shit to the very end where he pulled it out of his ass. I'm like, thank God you gave me at least 15. I was like, Jesus. I was like, it's bad. It was bad. It was
saying at least Tom Brady gave me 15 is fucking hilarious.
It's just so rare, but that's just how it's been. It's been really, there's really no one to throw it to right now. So it's been annoying. It's been really annoying as a person who owns Tom Brady stock.
All right, let's move on to Didge. All right, go ahead. Have your victory lap. Chargers fucking looked horrible. Go ahead, Didge. Go ahead.
I'm really disappointed. I have the Chargers defense, and I have Justin Herbert in another league. Do you know how disappointed I was in the Chargers?
You deserve to be. You weren't high enough on them.
They gave me -6 points.
Yeah, you weren't high enough on them.
Like, I gave up 6. I was so disappointed. So watching the game, I didn't even like seeing the highlights. I saw at one point they were down. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, it happens. They'll catch back up, you know, they'll take the lead. Then the next time I looked, it was like 24-10. And I was like, what is going on?
Yep.
And then I see 31-10, and that's when I messaged the group. And I'm like, look, I hate them. I want the entire team relocated and get them out of here.
I will say one,
and it's just I don't know what happened.
Well, one thing is the Jaguars are playing like this. This was the they played this game like they were living out a movie, right? To where it was like, hey guys, no one's believed in us all year. This is the game where we change perspective, right? This is where everyone believes we can do it. And the Chargers went in there like the jocks. Fuck you. We're better than you. We're gonna destroy you. And then they had that magical game. That's what this felt like, right?
But I will also say, remember what I said at the beginning of the year? Trevor Lawrence, he gonna show some people this year. That's what he's been doing all year.
We'll see. Fuck him.
He's right. He's doing
it all year.
We'll see. Fuck him. Fuck it. Screw Trevor. No, I mean, look, this defense, I don't really know what you can say about the Chargers defense. Like, again, I'm very glad. Every day I thank the heavens that Chargers paid J.C. Jackson all that money. Because there's no way you're telling me that all those receivers for the Jaguars were balling and none of them were on J.C. Jackson. Can't nobody tell me that. So every day I thank the Lord that we didn't pay him.
Did he play?
For his sake, he better not have him.
He does. If he did, he didn't show up
I
on
don't
the
remember
defensive stat sheet at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't see a lot of that Chargers secondary.
It looked like Jaguars is living rent free up in that shit.
I don't think he played.
So let me, while you look that up, Didge, let me ask you, Prime, is this more so of things to come for the Jags or just a really bad outing for the Chargers?
Man, Peterson got these people in first place. The Jags are in first place in the AFC South, brother. 2-1. So last time that happened. But I don't know, because I don't expect the Chargers to look this bad. Like, if you just told me that they would have lost the game, they lost the game. Bro, they got beat by 28 points. 28 points. And to speak to Didge's, point about Trevor Lawrence, the man had 3 different receivers for touchdowns. And can I take my hat off to them for what they've been able to do with Christian Kirk? Because Christian Kirk scored again. Like, Christian Kirk has to be one of the best offseason acquisitions so far. At a time when they gave him all that money and people were laughing, like, come on, Christian Kirk. I mean, yeah, he made some plays in there, but come on, he's going, man. Nah, he's scoring every week. So
every week, yeah.
So I don't want to take down, put that on the back burner what the Jags are doing. But man, the Chargers to get beaten that bad, healthy Justin Herbert or not, like, I don't know, man.
At home, don't forget it was at
all
home.
I'm gonna say is, at home. Thank you. And what's crazy is, and probably a discussion for another time, I'm sure we will at some point, is the AFC West now is, all of us are sitting there thinking how crazy this division is going to be. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's so far through 3 weeks, it's been
Russ
not even
look
close.
Old. Russ look old. Josh McDaniels is trying to head back to Foxborough. And I don't know what the fuck the Chargers' excuse is, because you're not telling me that they miss Keenan Allen this bad.
AFC West.
Hell no, you don't look this bad offensively just because you don't have Keenan Allen. No, Justin Herbert's too talented for me to go, well, he doesn't have his number one receiver, so that's why it looks bad. No. That kid should be able to churn out.
Problem all the way around, like New Jack City. The new Nino said this thing is bigger than Nino Brown. Oh, it's bigger than Justin Herbert. Like, it's some real issues, man.
Well, I can tell you right now, somebody's getting fired out of that AFC West. That's for damn sure.
And somebody already had a conversation with the owner already after 3 weeks. Huh?
Already. I'm telling you right now, the Raiders came downstairs and said, hey, Josh, this isn't Denver, okay? We're going to need you to win some fucking games here. All right, brother? Okay? You got a way better quarterback than Tim Tebow. You got way better receivers than Tim Tebow had. Why can't you win these goddamn games?
Can you guys hear Mark Davis now, like, behind closed doors? He's like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. Let me tell you, look, I know what I'm talking about. I just appointed a woman over my WNBA team. The first year she wins a championship.
Yep.
I put you over your eye. I expect some results.
Goddamn right. He said, hey,
do I need that first year stuff?
The first thing he said is, hey, do I need to call Becky, tell her to come coach this shit? She need to come coach football?
I do.
All right, then, get this shit together. Fucking have her come coach football. Think I'm playing. I want wins. And she produces. And she produces. Joel, how shocked were you to see how, and Didge, I think you'll finally allow me to use this word, how shocked were you, Joel, to see how much the Jaguars handled the Chargers?
Yeah, no, this is a handling for sure.
I try to use that word every week, and Didge just comes up, no, don't use it here. It don't make sense. Don't use it. So I'm like, I finally got a chance to use it. I'm gonna use it. But your thoughts, Joel, on this Jaguars-Chargers game?
I think it was not shocking, but almost like one of those, like, about time that team looked decent.
Well, like, you know that I don't know. Why was it not shocking? Time out. I'm sorry, but not shocking. That threw me for a loop. What do you know?
Joel has part ownership in the Jaguars.
It's just they've been accumulating talent for a long time. At this point, like, it's gotta show up at some point. That's what I mean.
I just didn't need it to be against the team I picked to win the Super Bowl.
Obviously, but
it didn't work for me.
You need James Robinson to do what he did Sunday either. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't spoke on fantasy this whole podcast. I believe it.
Oh man, goodness gracious! That's why I really should be with Didge on fuck Chargers and everything they stand for. Justin Herbert gave me 14 goddamn points, and I'm looking at Joe Burrow on the bench with 30, and I'm like, God damn it, Justin! Who is on this Jaguars defense that was giving you fits? That was just giving you the fits. God damn! I look at Prime and he's shining everywhere. I say, ain't this about a... Oh, goodness gracious.
Juwaan hits me the other day, like, so, I gotta, I don't know when you guys set your lineups. I just got a thing when I set mine. And Juwaan being a good sport, he's, hey, man, you got an open spot in your lineup. Don't forget to set your lineup, boy. This is like Thursday. And I was like, oh, don't worry.
What kind of player are you?
Unless I got a Thursday night game, I usually don't set my lineups until literally I got a routine. And I set them after we record our show on Sunday morning. Like, I got to have that up to the minute. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what was crazy is initially I had taken James Robinson out, and I had a slot there. So I did a maneuver, put somebody in the slot, whatever, and I started James Robinson this week. And, of course, you see what he did to the Chargers, right? Ultimately, with his help and somebody else's, of course, you know who that was, I was able to bring home a well-fought victory.
It wasn't even well-fought. There was no fight. Straight up dog walked my ass. But no, Didge, I only said it because, like, I know how busy we are with work, family, on top of podcasting, shit like, and we're not doing this league for money, right? So it's like, you maybe don't put as much stock in this league as you might a money league. So I'm like, all right, man, I want to make sure we're 100%.
That week I went up against him, he had Dak as starting still up until like Sunday, and I'm just watching like, let's go. Hopefully he forgot. Let's go.
Nah, because to me, I know I wouldn't have truly accepted it if Prime really did forget and left it empty, and I won because he left it empty. I wouldn't have really accepted that win. So that's why I said it.
That's your fault. You should have been on your team.
Nah, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I guarantee you. I guarantee you that shit won't happen again. The rest of y'all, if there's a way I can take a player out for y'all, I might do that shit. But Joel, to finish us up, besides you having part ownership in the Jaguars, what else stood out to you in this game?
Whatever the way the Chargers look, it was very surprising. Also, just considering everything we've been talking about, and Herbert. I mean, he is coming back from an injury, but that's still no excuse. If that's the case, he shouldn't have played, right?
Yeah,
but
no, not that.
Play defense.
But
damn sure can't. I don't know where the hell Khalil Mack was. Somebody put out APB. See where his ass at. See where he went. Did he go back to Chicago? Where'd he go? But yeah, all right. So let's go to our last game because I think this was the biggest shock of the week for all of us. So I wanted to save it for last before we head to basketball before we get out of here for the night. Didge, I need you to do some explaining, my G. Because somebody started this year, you put some fucking respect on Patrick Mahomes' name. He's the G. Bend the knee, right? It begins and ends with Mahomes. Yeah, why Matt Ryan make him his bitch on Sunday? What happened, Didge? Explain it to me. Where was those 9 different receivers at? Where were they at?
I think he still threw to 9 different receivers.
It ain't amount to nothing. What was that 10th he threw it to when Gilmore hit that block on him? Hit that blickety block. Who was that 10th receiver? What was his name?
That's it. All right.
Was that the ghost of Tyreek Hill that he was throwing to? Who was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad game. It wasn't pretty. I didn't think Indianapolis would be the ones who would do this.
Nope.
I got nothing to say. They got outplayed. But I mean, at least my MVP candidate, he didn't get blown out at home.
Oh no! Because Joel has a point. I can look at the Jaguars and go, there's a lot of potential there going forward, right? Like they might be sneaky good. Ain't a goddamn thing about the Colts that will travel into next week from last week's game. They will be just as subpar as they were beforehand the rest of the way through.
Pittman's been pretty good.
No,
I don't doubt that, Joel. I think they have talent.
I don't know.
But at the end of the day, they have a man named Matt
their defense
Ryan.
is definitely talented.
Oh, for
Matt
sure.
Ryan looks a lot older these days than I remember.
You know what's so funny?
Yeah,
I can't remember back to a time Matt Ryan wasn't in the NFL. That's how old I think he's become. I don't remember when he was drafted.
I remember when he got drafted. That's why.
I don't remember none of that.
I don't remember Matt Ryan. Yeah.
I remember when he was playing.
Damn.
When he beat Florida State in the game one set, I was mad as mine. I remember it's been a minute.
Oh, yeah,
I remember when he beat New England in the Super Bowl. Oh wait, no, never mind. My bad. We don't play shitters here, Joel. But Prime, I'll go to you. Maybe you have a little bit more words than Didge did, but
I got nothing.
Explain to me what happened to good old St. Patty Mahomes.
I mean, what's going to probably happen to him a couple of more times this year? It happens.
Oh.
I mean, it happens. You know, and then of course he can't hold on. He can't throw it and hold on to the ball too. I mean, Juju Butterfingers, Schuster.
Oh, wait, Juju?
Yeah.
I thought y'all said that was a nice little pickup.
Yeah, it was a pickup, but he couldn't pick up the daggone ball this past week, and it resulted in interception. But look, at the end of the day, it's nothing new. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
We didn't say they were going to go 16 or 17-0.
Look, we're going to be sitting here another week, and Patrick is going to lose again. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more times. I mean, it happens.
Okay. Hopefully that next time, though, Herbert won't lose that same week.
But the Colts, as far as the Colts, I think you're downplaying the Colts. I think we're looking at the fact that just because they started the season 0-2, and didn't quite look like the team we thought they were, and Jonathan Taylor, we expected him to blow everybody out of the water, and he hasn't had that. You know, they did get about, I think, 1 or 2 players back on defense last week. They got their best receiver back last week, Michael Pittman. So, I mean, they didn't want to go 0-3. I mean, no, they were 0-1. They were 0-1-1 already, right? So they didn't want to, they didn't want to go 0-2 and whatever, but whatever it is.
They wanted to fill out the ones,
Yeah, they wanted to fill it out all the way across, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
got you. Now, Prime, do me a quick favor, okay? Yeah. If you don't have it on you, don't worry. Didge will look it up for us. Can you do the audience a favor and let me know what those first 2 games the Colts lost, or I'm sorry, tied and lost were? What were those teams they played?
One of them was the Texans, right?
They tied the Texans, and they lost to the Jaguars.
Oh.
So is that a bad thing? The Jaguars are 2-1, bro. I'm trying to tell you. See what that
this Jaguars team that you're trying to go. Oh, okay, to just also beat your boy 38-10 in his house.
Off your boy.
They walked into his house and was fuck your couch. What are we talking here?
Okay. All right. I'm just saying. You saying maybe I'm not respecting these Colts enough. I think I got the Colts right where they should be. No, I just said I'm with Joel that the Jags look like they might be a little bit more serious than we thought they would be. But the Colts tying with the Jaguars.
The Colts though, but if you look back the past couple of seasons though, when they didn't make the playoffs was 2 years ago. They started, was it last year? 0-3? Yeah, they started 0-3 last year and then 1-4 and were 1 game away from making the playoffs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, look, Colts are a decent organization, man.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a decent defense too.
That's fair. And what team, if you remember, did the Colts lose to on their mission to making the playoff? Jaguars, right? Okay, just make sure. And Jaguars are still here, right? Okay, so they're not going anywhere. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. Joel, please enlighten the audience why we should maybe double check the resume of Patrick Mahomes, and maybe.
I'm not a hater of Patrick Mahomes. I respect the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes, and the dominance that had the Chiefs have been in the last couple of years. But they ain't immortal, and they can bleed. But I don't think anybody was really arguing.
Man, bled.
Right.
I'm just saying, Didge didn't make it sound that way 2 weeks ago.
I feel like I did.
Didge had me thinking he was Wolverine out on this bitch. This motherfucker indestructible. No, but all jokes aside, Joel, were you shocked at all at the result of this game?
Yeah, it was. I didn't expect them to beat the Chiefs. So it was a couple of games like that this week. This was one of them. I was like, whoa, shit, I didn't see that coming. Fuck. Good for them. I mean, I'm telling you, the Jags, eventually it's going to work out. I'm not sure when. Maybe this is the beginning. But as of right now, everything's up compared to last year for them.
You know what, Joel? You know who the Jaguars are starting to slowly look like? The NFL Sixers. That's what they're starting to look like, right? All that time you had where you sucked and you were acquiring all this talent, building up this talent, the process, right? Now you look like you got your Joel Embiid and Trevor Lawrence, right? You got your, I guess, James Harden and Kirk. I guess James Harden. Or maybe Maxey. Maybe he's your Maxey. But it looks like that their process has paid off. And that this might be a year where they make the playoffs. I'm not saying that they go all the way, but they might make the playoffs. You never know. They look like they got the talent to do so. And you never know. Every team like the Jaguars that are like on the verge are just a trade away, right? Or a free agent acquisition away. And then it's like, well, they're here. So we'll see how that all pans out. But yeah, it's fuck Patrick Mahomes around these parts. You know why, Joel. You don't have to whisper why. You know why. They took over right as Tom Brady transitioned out. I don't like that.
Tom Brady's a Buccaneer.
But that's why I'm saying, as Tom Brady transitioned out of the AFC, is where they fully made their ascension. I don't like that. Fuck that.
That's called evolution.
I don't like the word, Joel.
Stay away from sending Brady home.
There you go.
That's fair. I can't argue that. All right, I want to talk a little bit NBA Media Day. We can't fully get into the conferences this week. We'll start off with it next week, though. Joel, we'll start off with 2 of them next week. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Media Day, kind of go over some of the things we've heard from our respective teams before we get out of here. Didge, we'll let you start with the Bucks. We assume it kind of started, hey, championship, right? Yep. All right, and then everybody went home. How did that go?
It was basically, the boys are back.
Oh, gotcha. And by boys, did they mean the Antetokounmpos or like the whole team?
The whole team.
Gotcha,
gotcha. Everybody got back together, had the pictures together, and all of that.
Was George Hill in the pictures?
No, luckily I'm glad. they told him no. Oh, you go this way. You go this way.
Yo, hold on, wait.
They actually told him Media Day was last week.
Didge, all I'm picturing is Didge as the photographer. Like, hey, do me a favor, George Hill, can you scoot this way some? Oh, a little bit more. No, a little bit more. Right there. It's like, it doesn't look like I'm in the photo. No, you're good. Stay
you
right
are.
Stay right there. Don't you fucking move. All right. Say team on 3, and it's like, I'm not in it. I know. Shut up. But no, all jokes aside, Didge, was there anything good that came out of this Media Day? Whether it's, a funny moment, anything somebody said, expectations, whatever the case may be. What came out of Media Day for the Bucks?
Middleton's not expected to be ready for opening night.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Giannis is just like, all right, well, I got to drop 47, 36, 15, and 24.
Ready, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had wrist surgery over the offseason.
I'm about to say, was he fucking not almost ready during the playoffs?
No, yeah. He had wrist surgery. He said he had injured his wrist, I think, during the All-Star break last year, and just played the rest of the year with it. So he had the surgery done. And I don't think Hopefully he won't miss too much of the season, but he knows for sure it probably won't be opening night.
Yo, can I just say the way Joel said that? How much fucking time he needs? Like Joel sounded like an upset Bucks fan. Like, all right, bitch. Okay, you had enough fucking time. You ready yet?
I just don't like seeing. Like, I hate when guys take a whole year, and I know they need it, but it's like you're missing the whole year for whatever injury it is. It's like we don't even know what's going on with Lonzo's ball. That motherfucker might miss a whole season over whatever the fuck.
Hey,
I was just reading that.
Time out. Joel, I get what you're saying, but to be fair, it's fuck Chicago around these parts. All right?
I'm not
so he can take a year off.
I'm just saying in general as a fan, what the fuck?
I literally was just reading that right before you said that. Like, what happened to him?
Yeah, his is the most shocking because it's like, bro, you sat all of last year. How did you injure something that wasn't what kept you out most of last year? Like, that's some Andrew Bynum shit. Like, what are you doing at home? Like, why are you not just sitting your ass down? Like, goodness gracious, sit your ass down, man. But all right, Didge, was there anything else to come out of Milwaukee?
No, everything else was mainly just about continuity because, I mean, we brought back mainly the same roster. Right. So they were talking about how great that's going to be. You know, you get the chemistry keep going. Hopefully guys are getting a little bit more healthy and everything. And, you know, should be that.
All right.
Nothing too major. You know, we didn't have any big splashy signings.
Right. And shout out to Giannis out here filming movies and documentaries and all kinds of shit, right?
Right.
You know,
Giannis is doing everything.
He's the face of Greece, cooking Greece, his home Greece, everything. He out here, man. He out here shining. I see him. Joel, Prime, we know it was media day for the Knicks. We know Tom Tibbs has a beard or the remnants of a beard. Derrick Rose looks healthy. RJ Barrett looks confident. Monica McNutt looks as sexy as ever. She gonna need to do some more Knick games this year. That's for damn sure. Who's the chick that does the sidelines for us now? Rebecca Harlow? Yeah, she gonna need to take her ass to TNT or something. Let Monica do that for us. We need Monica to do that for us. You see, she even suited up in Knicks gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, I love that woman. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Julius Randle was taking accountability. I appreciate it. I guess is what I'm supposed to say.
Good way to start the year.
I guess. I mean, last time I checked, he wasn't 5 going on 6. He was definitely a grown-ass man. Accountability is something you probably should have learned very early in life, but okay. But for me, the biggest thing that came out of it was Tibbs alluding to the fact that Evan Fournier may start this season, and
the front runner.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. I watched us go through a whole trade scenario, right, where we were valuing Grimes as that motherfucker. So a lot of us thought, well, I mean, you kind of got to start the motherfucker now, right? You know, essentially you wouldn't trade him because he was too valuable. Now you want him to come off the bench? Yeah, me no like that. Me no like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I got a twofold for you, Prime. Your thoughts on the media day, and also, did you check out Alan Hahn's State of the Union for Knicks fans, where he talked to whatever the guy's name that's GM for the Knicks?
President. No, I've got it. See, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't checked. I mean, I haven't looked at it yet. I will.
Well, then I'll start with Joel, because Joel, you saw it, right? Okay, so I'll start with you. You can kind of highlight any big things that were said or questions that were answered, and then Prime, you could just follow up on it. So we'll start off with that, Joel. The State of the Union. By the way, Alan Hahn does speak for us fans, okay? So if ever somebody needs to speak to Leon Rose or whoever, it is Alan Hahn. That's who we selected, okay? So Joel, what were some of the biggest things that came out of that sit down with Leon Rose?
Nothing really. There's nothing major came out of that conversation. It's nothing we didn't already know. It's nothing. They asked him questions, and he gave you the answers you expect him to give. So there's really nothing major aside from the fact that he likes the kids and he trusts Tibbs that you can get out of it. That's really all that came out of it. Like, because they didn't go into the trade. He's not going to give you details. He's going to tell you, like, oh, it just didn't work out. We got the asset. We can go after someone else later on. That's basically what it came down to.
I get it.
And I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Like, so
you know, it is fun, though, is when he says things like, or we hear things like, you know, they didn't want to give Jazz everything because if somebody bigger or better comes a knocking, we got the assets to make a play for him, right? What's fun is watching this NBA season, right? And just keeping an eye out on situations of who seems unhappy, right? Who seems like maybe I'll fucking leave you in free agency next year kind of people, right? That's what's going to be so much fun outside of just watching the Knicks, is watching players possibly slowly becoming unhappy. You know, like I heard Giannis didn't like that nobody showed up to the premiere of that Disney Plus thing that he put out, like none of his teammates. I heard Coach Bud didn't show up, so like, you know, that might be something. You know what I'm saying, Didge? So I'm just keeping an eye out on things like that for sure. You know what I'm saying? Right? But no, Joe, did you take anything out of Media Day for us from our session?
Nothing in particular. He basically got the run of the mill, you know, questions and answers. Like they asked how they what they did, how they trained, how they liked it, how do you feel. They actually got to talk to the media. It's not like they actually got questions today.
You hear that, Didge? You hear that? We do talk to the media. You hear that? RJ did say he's 6'7" now. He did say he's 6'7" now.
Yeah,
so
he's 6'7". He says that, but what are the NBA gonna write down? You know, is that with or without shoes? That's the question.
I don't know, but
because technically, if he's wearing shoes and he's 6'7", then NBA is gonna write down 6'6" because they don't count sneakers anymore.
Right. Hey, if that height helps you lock up Jason Tatum again, I'm all for it.
I'm happy if he's 6'7". I'm happy for him, but
I'm very excited about
that. As
of
right now, he's listed as 6'6", so he's 6'7" in shoes. That's fine. I mean, that's kind of what I feel. I always add up because of the fact that they changed it. Back in the day, they used to add with the shoe size, you're whatever the fuck you are. Even though Kevin Durant says he's 6'9".
The way you said that with so much shade.
Because he's fucking annoying. He's like, for some reason, admit you're fucking 7 feet tall. Why is it so hard? I don't understand. For the longest time, it was the weirdest thing. Him and Michael Beasley are close, right? Mm-hmm. They're standing next to each other. You can see the difference in height. And fucking Beasley at the time was listed at 6'10", and Durant was 6'9". It was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw in my life. You guys are both retarded.
Prime, as I pass it to you, one of the biggest things that stood out to me was Brunson's immediate leadership by coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm not a savior. I'm not New York's savior. I'm here just to ball and do whatever I can to help you guys win basketball games." But Prime, I want to ask you twofold, right? So your thoughts on Media Day. And if you were Tibbs, how would you work this rotation of Quickly, Rose, and Brunson, right? Because remember, all of last year we felt like there's no way Quickly does not end games for us, right? There's just no fucking way. The kid's just extremely too talented, right? But if Derrick Rose is healthy, I wholeheartedly believe Tibbs will find ways for that motherfucker to end games if he's healthy. It's just Tibbs, right? It's just what Tibbs does, right? So how do you think that's going to be managed? Do you think it's going to be the obvious? Clearly, Brunson's the hometown kid. He'll be not only starting, obviously, but finishing all games. Or do you see scenarios where Tibbs is going to try to work his guy in?
Man, you never know with Tibbs. I think the first thing we got to hope is the fact that just, everybody stays healthy. We don't have that early situation like with Derrick Rose like last year, who looks real good, by the way. And hopefully, and then you try to figure that problem out. Hopefully, and I'm hoping, even though it's kind of a log jam over there too, I'm hoping that Quickly's been working on that jump shot, right? Mm-hmm. Because I do really believe there's maybe some time that he's going to be on the court with one of them. And maybe at the end of the game. I know you're just talking about the Fournier thing, and then and how much everybody wants to see Grimes in there. But I do believe there's going to be at some point there's going to be a time that he's going to be on the court even at the end of the game with one of those point guards.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully he's gonna work on the jump shot. But the media day itself, you took my first one. I love what Brunson said about not being a savior. I loved hearing RJ talk about. Of course, everybody comes with the shock the world thing, but his intent and focus on being an all-star this year. And I love something a little bit, it probably got overlooked, but Hardenstein, whatever, saying that not only is he happy to be there, but how much time he actually spent, with Obi and Jalen, in quick, somewhat quick, in the off season. He's got time to, he spent some time with them in the off season, and we haven't really seen him in a lot of the photos and stuff. We would see them together,
right?
But just the fact that there's that gelling process, and he really feels like the time they spent together, and how happy he is to be with the organization, he's going to play a big part in whatever it is that we do.
He also, very weirdly, I didn't hear the full comparison he was trying to get to, but he compared himself to Joakim Noah, and I'm like, ooh, as Knicks fans, we're like, that's a name we don't want to hear you say. I mean, which Joakim Noah you talking? The one we had? Don't do that. We're glad we got him completely off the books.
If he can bring me some of that Noah type game,
hey, if he can get in people's heads and be a rim protector, great.
Man, putting somebody on the floor, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, we know.
Don't sleep. That kid might get more minutes than we think.
I believe at some point that he is.
Well, to me, I don't doubt that. I just don't want that to get in the way of. I do want to see this year more of Randall and Obi Toppin finishing games. That is what I want to see a lot more of. I want to see a lot more of that.
Too much of that.
Well, Tibbs did speak to the idea of playing those two together more.
Oh, maybe they'll play. I don't know if
it's a process. I think Obi Toppin can thrive next to Julius Randle.
I won't be surprised if I see it. I'll just say that there was a few times that Obi was on the court later in games last year. I didn't think he would be on it. I'm like, he still got him out there. Like, after not playing him so much, the previous week. So I don't know.
You know what's crazy, Prime? We said last year as Knicks fans, all last year, just let the kids play, right? They'll shock you, right? And Tibbs all year was just like, fuck them, right? Then towards the end of the year, where he had no choice but to play the kids, I'll be topping out here 20-point games, 25-point games, 50 points in the season. This motherfucker was balling his lights out, and I know after every timeout, he looked at Tibbs and was just like,
what happened?
He was Jordan shrugging. Like, the fuck, man? Like, you just put me in the game. So for me, I definitely just want to see these kids being used more. I think Fournier will be lights out coming off the bench. The idea of having somebody that could get 30 coming off your bench, I think is extremely valuable. And I think somebody like Grimes, who can play solid defense and knock down that three at a consistent clip and does not need the ball. Because we saw that was Fournier's problem a lot. He didn't move well, right? Because he likes to create his own shot, so he needs the ball.
And not get back.
So I'm like, right, and then not get back, right. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I think Grimes fits with Brunson and RJ and Randall and Mitch a lot better. Now, the biggest question I have as we wrap this up and get out of here is, what the fuck happens to old boy from the fucking Hawks?
Reddish.
What do we do with Reddish? Who changed his number, by the way? Shout out to Cam Reddish.
Yeah, 0, right?
No, they were saying it's either 0 or 8. He kept having it cut off.
0.
Oh, no, they said 0? Oh, okay. Last time I saw it, they showed a photo that he had it, cut off. So they couldn't see the top. So they're like, I don't know, it's 8 or 0.
I hate it for him, man.
Where would you put him?
I hate it for him because he's a guy who's obviously looks like he doesn't mind being there. Wants to be there. He got his boy there with him.
I was about to say, he got his bestie with him.
Got his boy there with him. And he's actually a kid that can actually contribute. Like, he can really, any given night, he can give you that 14, 15. And he just can't. It's not the fact that, he just can't get on the court. Like, he won't put him on the court. Whereas we mess around and he's not a Knick and he goes somewhere and end up getting 25, 30 minutes a game and contribute. I just don't know. I don't know if his if his fate lies in the hands of the fact of, whether or not Tibbs is there, And I'm hoping Tibbs is there, because if Tibbs is not there, then that means that stuff didn't went horribly left quick. Right. Early into this season, I should say. Right. No matter what I think about him as a coach, I mean, I want us to do well, especially after this summer we just had, and somewhat striking out.
And don't forget, Prime, the man on your shirt said he only has a few more years left before he officially calls it quits. Yeah. So I'm like, we need good seasons to give to Clyde before he retires and we no longer have Clyde. And who knows if Mike wants to continue without him. Yeah, come on, man. And it does put me in a weird position because I do wake up every morning and go to sleep every night hoping that Evan Fournier gets traded. Not because I don't think he could be an amazing piece to this team, but because if he's traded, it does free Cam Reddish to have all those minutes that Evan Fournier would have, right? You would share it between Grimes and what's his name. So I'm like, it's not. I don't want Fournier traded because he's bad, because we saw last year that if we played the Celtics 80 games, that motherfucker would have been the MVP of the NBA season.
Oh, yeah, some nights now that
it seemed to only be against the Celtics, but when we played the Celtics, that motherfucker showed up. So I have nothing against him, Didge. I don't want you to think this is like a Julius Randle situation. It's not. Fournier did nothing wrong. It's just you're taking minutes from the children we want to be here 10 to 15 years from now, that it looks like we might not get that chance with them because we got you, right? So, again, if having Fournier gets me to the playoffs in a series or two, Cam Reddish can fucking go play in China for all I care. But if it's not resulting in wins, I do want them to not be afraid to shake it up because you have so much talent. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's just what I want Tibbs to wrap his mind around, is like, hey, this isn't working. I don't want you to go, I'm going to fucking force feed this shit till it works. No, switch it. Switch it up. Let's see what different combinations we can put together that has a great result. Because there'll be nights where that kid you were talking about, Joel, that we just signed from the Clippers, he could be on fire, right? That kid could be lights out. He might be a better suit to finish games than Mitchell Robinson. I don't want Tibbs to be afraid to take those calls. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, whoever's hot, that's who finishes the game. I don't give a fuck how much you pay somebody. If you hot, you finish. You know? And as we get out of here, Didge will have to look at that when George Hill is lighting it up for 30 a game. He'll have to just wrap his mind around he's got to start and finish games, you know?
George Hill would not be dropping.
You know what? Guarantee you game one, that motherfucker has 35 and 10.
I will bet you.
You know what, Didge? I
don't think he scored 30 ever. I think his career high is.
No way he didn't score 30 when he played in San Antonio. He was fucking balling his lights out.
Yeah, too.
Well, I'm just saying he wasn't looked at. Well, no, you're right. Yeah, no, I won't even finish what I was gonna say. You're right.
He had a good career.
He did.
His career high is 30.
Yeah.
That means I was close.
I thought he was younger. I mean, his year in Sacramento wasn't that bad either, actually.
It was not. Didge, I'm just saying, if that motherfucker drops 30 at all next year, your name on here permanently will be George Hill.
No more not.
No more Didge.
It will not.
No more Didge. I might even go a step further and say you got to tattoo his name.
He's going to do that opening night, right?
When he do that opening night for you, Didge, you going to feel bad.
No, we better have won that game.
Nah, he going to do that and y'all going to lose.
Oh, then I don't care.
No, but all jokes aside, there is a basketball game, weirdly, this Friday over in China. We got a game over in China. Yep. I don't remember the teams, but we do have a game this Friday.
I'm going to look it up. Is it NBA?
Yeah, no, it's NBA. It's two NBA teams that are just playing over in China.
The Nibba.
I don't remember what the two teams were, but they're playing over in China.
What's today?
27th?
There's a game on the 4th? No, hold on.
It said the Friday the 30th. So it says the Warriors and Wizards.
Yeah.
There you go.
At 6 in the morning?
Because it's in China.
Luckily I'll be kind of up.
Right.
Not enough to watch it.
I'll be getting ready for work.
And then Maccabi Ranana versus the Clippers.
The NFL is over in London, right? So that's crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But all right, guys, we're getting out of here. But please make sure you stay tuned this Thursday for our She-Hulk breakdown. We will also be talking. Blade just lost its director. We just got the announcement of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, the greatest love duo ever in cinema history, are reunited for Deadpool 3. We'll be breaking that down also. So stay tuned, guys. Thursday is going to be a fun one. We're getting closer to the return of the double D's, Didge. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, man. So I can't wait. I can't wait for them double D's to return. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.
Peace.